Congratulations, Liz, you are first. Hey, what's up, Neurospicy Cat? Hey, how's it going, Jag? Addie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Rosie, thank you. Appreciate that. No W to you, Addie. Keep on double tapping on that screen. Hey, came from Discord. Glad to hear it. I wish everyone came from Discord. I wish everyone was in the Discord to come from Discord. Warner, thank you so much for the friendship necklace. Appreciate that. I appreciate you. Make sure you're double tapping, sharing that with your friends. All of that good stuff. Only be in that guest request box if you're 18 or older, if you believe in the God of the Bible, Torah, or Quran, and if you think that if you have like a real argument that doesn't involve personal experience. K McDuck, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And with that, we'll go to the very first guest. But yeehaw, thank you so much, Target Zero. I appreciate that. Hey, Neurospicy Cat, appreciate that. Very nice. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How old are you?
You said what?
How old? Oh, I don't even need to ask. You're not 18 or older. Yeah, you gotta be 18 or older to request to join. Anthony, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's try to get one in here. What's up, Witch? Nostromo, thank you. Which argument is it gonna be, Witch? Oh, I accept your surrender. Folded like a chair, scrambled like an omelet, reformatted like a hard drive. Get your ankles absolutely shattered. You will never debate again. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen though. Let's get this live in front of as many people as we can. What's up, Real?
What's going on, man?
Hey, how old are you?
I am 26.
Yeah, and what religion are you?
I am Christian.
Okay, so what's your strongest argument for the existence of God which does not involve personal experience?
That everyone experienced God.
Oh, I don't experience God.
I beg to differ.
Okay. Well, explain to me how I've experienced God.
Yeah, I've been on your live before, so I've heard you say that you were a Christian before. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that the reason why you stepped away from that is because someone asked a question that you couldn't answer.
Oh yeah, just like The Rock. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can answer it now. I think that there are good objections to it now. Although even today, most Christians don't know the good objections to it. So,
Yeah.
and I have much better reasons for not believing at this point.
Like what, if you don't mind me asking?
Do you want the original reason why I stopped believing, or do you want the much better reasons?
The much better, whichever.
Yeah, the much better reasons why I don't believe in God are just because I look around the world and I see the horrific levels of suffering. I see things like earthquakes, things like the existence of predators, which can literally only survive through unaliving other animals in like gruesome and painful ways. I see a sun which gives us cancer. I see an anatomy which could have been designed to make grape impossible, but instead allows for grape. I see all of these like natural evils, and if God is the purveyor of nature, he's the one who made nature, then it seems like he would be responsible for all of this horrific suffering that nature causes.
But wasn't he the same one that created heaven and earth?
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he does exist, then he would be responsible for all of this stuff, which means that he would definitely be evil.
Then what's wrong with him being responsible for it?
Because that would be evil. If he's responsible for earthquakes and cancer, then God's evil.
How would you describe evil?
Well, I mean, I would just say that in your worldview, this is like tantamount to murder. So this would just be God violating one of the 10 Commandments.
Well, what is your definition of evil? Because
it's an internal critique.
So you can't give me a definition of your...
I'm just pointing out that it's an internal critique, like under your worldview, because I also don't believe in God either. But if I did believe in God, then he would definitely need to be like horrifically evil. I think that just as like a baseline thing, every person, me and you included, should both be able to agree that when a kid is unalived by cancer, that's a really bad thing.
Absolutely. I can tell you what evil is. I can define what I think evil is.
Yeah, what do you think evil is?
I think evil is something that emotionally doesn't align with our beliefs, our emotional beliefs. That's what I think evil is. I think evil is subjective.
Okay, that's fine. So if you think evil is subjective, then we can just say subjectively that God would be like super evil. But that's not compatible with an all good God. God can't be both all good and also like wildly evil.
I think that's wrong. I think I mean, there are different type of Christians. I like to believe that my Christianity believes, I think God created both good and evil. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think you can be a Christian and you can still believe that God created evil. And if he created cancer, if he created the good, and he also created the bad.
Gotcha. So you would just say that God's not all good?
I won't say it's not all good, but
but you would say that God's like bad, that there's like God is at least a little bit bad, right?
then then you have to define what you mean by.
But I'm just talking about your worldview because I don't believe in God either. So we're just talking about your worldview. That certainly when a kid is unalived by cancer, that's really bad. So if God's the one who created cancer, then God's responsible for that. So then God did something that's really bad.
What's wrong with that? That's my question.
So if God does something that's really bad, that means he's not all good. If God's not all good, then he can't be all good. It's a contradiction.
No, it's not. But then, because you can only fathom what you consider as good and bad based on your worldview of this world. But God is not of this world. Is too powerful to be something that we can conceptualize based on our experience of good and evil of this world.
Gotcha. So how do you know that God isn't just lying to you about everything at that point then? If you're agnostic to what God would or wouldn't do, you're agnostic to what it would be good or evil for God to do, then it seems like you also need to be agnostic to whether or not God would like deceive you about the universe, that the entire universe is an illusion, that you're just like a brain in a vat, and that you need to be agnostic as to whether God is like playing a trick on you, which means you're agnostic to whether anything in the universe exists.
You have to excuse me. I was not following.
Yeah. So if you say that like God's ways are higher than our ways, God is just so much like above us, then you have no foundation for making the assumption that God isn't just lying to you about all of reality, that all of reality is fake, and that God is just like feeding you these sensory inputs. You need to be agnostic to whether or not God would do this. If you want me to, or if you're insisting that I ought be agnostic to whether or not taking the life of a child is a good thing or a bad thing for God to do, which means that if you're agnostic to whether or not God is just lying to you about everything, then you also need to be agnostic to whether reality exists at all, because God could just be lying to you about all of your sensory inputs, that when you see a person in front of you, that this is just like an illusion that God made for you to make you think that the universe exists when actually it doesn't. You need to be agnostic to whether that's the case. You don't know if anything exists at that point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that why put God into this box of our worldview? Why can't we just believe that God is someone that he's someone that our brain just cannot conceptualize?
Because then God's nonsense. God is just completely incomprehensible at that point, that you would need to affirm like direct contradictions about the properties of God. This is in fact what took me away from religion in the first place. This is the rock argument, that at that point you need to affirm that God has the power to make a rock that's so heavy he can't lift it, and that God can lift the rock that he can't lift. Just a direct contradiction. It just like complete on-face nonsense at that point.
So you believe that, but that logic itself, that there's fault in that statement. It doesn't make sense because we are trying to define a rock based on our own worldview of what a rock is. Maybe to God, a rock is something else.
But so let's just say like a rock in our worldview. Does God have the power to make a rock, the thing that you and I understand as a rock, that he doesn't have the power to lift?
But you can, okay, what do you define as a rock? We define a rock as what?
Just like the like
Definition.
hard gray thing the
Okay.
geologists study.
And can you move a rock?
Some rocks.
Okay.
But I'm asking if God can make a rock that's so heavy he can't lift it.
Well, so what if I said God cannot make a rock that he can? Because I see myself as someone who I can lift more rock than you. I'm 250 something pounds. I can lift more rocks than you.
You probably can lift more rocks than me. But at that point, if God can't make a rock that he can't lift, then you just conclude that God's not all powerful.
But that's not true, because a rock is something. The rock, our perception of rock is different. Is different from how God sees a rock.
How do you know?
Because he's someone that has so much power that you cannot even conceptualize.
Yeah, but why would that matter? Can he make the rock that he doesn't have the power to lift or not?
You can't. That's not a yes or no question, because a rock.
Quite literally is.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that.
Either yes, he does have the power, or no, he does not have the power.
But
Precious, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
but
Aisha, thank you so much.
but you're saying that God. But you already put in God into using analogy based on this word view, based on this word language and terms. But I'm saying that God is not someone that we can, like, he's outside. We have to see God as someone who is outside of this world thinking, outside of this world perceptions, because he's not someone you can. It's beyond your high perception.
Ethan, thanks so much for the $6.66 on Venmo. I'm sorry your tummy hurts, and good morning to you as well. Everyone say good morning, Ethan, in the comment section. Well, that doesn't really. I'm not sure how that tears in half your argument, because you and I understand what a rock is, even if it's different from God's perspective. You and I know what a rock is. So I'm just asking: does God have the power to make one of these things? And if so, can he make one of these things that's so heavy that he can't lift it?
I would have to answer. That's a question I can't. You can't answer that, because that question is faulty.
Which part of it is faulty?
Because it doesn't make sense. It's like saying. Can
Oh,
you,
gotcha. Wait, so then God does follow our laws of logic. Perfect. So then you can't appeal to God as a higher being than us to avoid the questions. You need to give a logical answer instead of saying like, well, God is just God. You have to answer tough questions. You can't run away and say that God's just higher than us.
I mean, I think he is. Well, I mean, what's wrong with?
Well, so if you think God's higher than us, then how do you know that this is an illogical question for God?
Because based on my own, I mean, we can both agree that question is contradicting, right? Can we both?
Not at all. No.
Yes, it is.
Certainly not. So the contradiction lies not with the question. The contradiction lies with the property of having all powers. So the thing that's contradictory is not the question, it's God.
No, the thing that's contradicting is your reality.
Yeah, so a contradiction requires two propositions. A question isn't a proposition. A question can't be contradictory because it's not a proposition. It doesn't have a truth value, which means that questions aren't contradictions.
I don't agree. I think questions can be contradicting.
That's just not the case. I like literally all of philosophy would disagree with you. In order to have a contradiction, you need to have a proposition and then the negation of that proposition. So if I said this shape is a square and also this shape is a circle, and it's both at the same time, that would be a contradiction because a square has 4 sides, whereas a circle has 0. It can't have both 4 and 0 sides at the same time. You can arrive at contradictions only through propositions, like the ones that I just mentioned. But questions aren't propositions. They're questions.
Okay, so let's examine that questions then. That question you just asked. So my worldview is that, my reality is that I can make a rock that I can lift, right? And I can also make a rock that I cannot lift, because I can make it, but to another person, that rock that I can't lift, they can lift. So see how that question, that the reality between that question is just like that question is just invalid because it's not real. You can't put everything, your perception of that, of your.
By that logic, I'd just say that like any question about God is invalid because God isn't real. Like you can't just avoid the question by saying it's not real. I'm asking if God has the power to do something. Whether or not God would actually do the thing is irrelevant. Like I have the power to like, run over and like punch a toddler, but I wouldn't do that. I have the power to do it, even though I would never do it. So I'm just asking, does God have the power to make a rock that he doesn't have the power to lift?
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and say yeah.
Yeah. So then does God have the power to lift the rock that he doesn't have the power to lift?
That makes no sense.
So I'm asking if he has the power, because let's say he makes the rock that he doesn't have the power to lift. Does he have the power to lift the rock? Either, yes, he does have the power, in which case we're at a contradiction because God's lifting a rock that he can't lift, or God doesn't have the power, in which case he's not all powerful.
But then if you can't lift a rock, then you can't make that rock that you can't lift.
That's not true. I could go and like form together like a big robot, and then this robot could fall on me and I couldn't lift it. If you've ever been to Denver International Airport, there's like this big blue horse statue, and this big blue horse statue like fell on its creator, and the statue was too heavy for the creator to lift.
So how do you know that God cannot lift what you cannot lift?
Well, God doesn't exist, so you can't ask me this question. Any question you ask me about God in my world, dude, the answer is always just going to come back to you as God doesn't exist. It's an invalid question. You're presupposing the existence of God, and I don't accept that.
And you think because God made this so much evil in this world, and that's why it's not real.
Yeah, it's like extraordinarily strong evidence. Like,
So
if God's all good, why do we have earthquakes?
So God is responsible for somebody killing something.
No, I'm talking about natural evils, like earthquakes or cancer or disease.
So earthquake, which can be caused by a human.
Yeah, but what about the ones who aren't caused by humans?
I mean, we could.
But what about the ones who aren't caused by humans? So in China in the 1600s, there was an earthquake that took the lives of almost 1 million people. Whose fault was that?
That's nature.
Yeah, and who made nature?
God.
Yeah, so it's God's fault.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so then God's responsible for unaliving millions of people.
And what is wrong? But there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with unaliving millions of people, are you sure? Because I think that there's probably something very wrong with unaliving 1 million innocent people.
Okay, so now we're going into more standards then.
Yeah, that's just like, this should be like self-evident to you. Do you think Adolf Schmittler did something wrong?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, what was the wrong thing that he did?
They killed a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah, exactly. So similar. So you think that that's wrong. So then when God does it, you would also think that that's wrong.
Yeah.
Perfect. So then God did something wrong.
Yes, but then he has a plan. He has a reason why that I cannot understand.
But okay, wait. So you agree that God did something wrong, which means that God cannot be all good.
In my own brain, yeah, absolutely. My own perception, yeah.
Gotcha. So, I mean, all I have is my own perception. So insofar as it's insanely evil to take the lives of 1 million people, that's going to make God insanely evil if he did exist, which would just lead me to the conclusion that he actually doesn't exist, because he's definitely not all good.
So you think God has to be all good for him to be real?
Your God has to be all good because your God is specifically described as perfect. One thing that makes a being perfect is being all good. If a being is not all good, then they're not perfect.
But everybody can define perfect differently. Your perfect
Perfect
might
is
not
just
be.
going to be defined as like having these like great making properties, that you're like the best at like all of these different things. And one of the things God prides himself in is being good, which means that God would need to be perfect in his goodness. Your God would need to be perfect in his goodness because he loves doing good things, which means that if God is perfect in his goodness, then everything that God does is good, and he is all good.
I don't think everything God does is good.
But then he's not perfect. So you would reject like Bible verses, multiple Bible verses that says that God is perfect.
I don't agree with some of it, but I do know he's all good. I mean, he has a plan. He knows something that I cannot think of. I don't know everything, so I don't.
How can you be perfect but not all good?
Because being good has nothing to do with your perfection. That's what
But
I.
don't you think, is there a way to be good perfectly?
No, there's
No?
not.
You
You
don't think
can't be good.
so?
No, I'm not perfect, but I like to think I'm a good person.
I'm asking if it's possible for anything, if it's possible for a being to be perfect in their goodness.
Not in this world that we live in.
But I'm asking like of God. Is it?
Of-
Oh, also, do you think that Jesus was perfect in his goodness?
Subjectively, yes, he is.
Gotcha. So then you do think it's possible for a being to be perfect in their goodness?
Only God can.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you can't be perfect in your goodness and also do evil. It's a contradiction. Aisha, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
No, because evil. Then you have to think about evil being subjective, being something that you only perceive as being evil based on how you define that term.
But it sounds like earlier you were saying that you think evil is subjective.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For example, okay. For example,
Aaron, thank you.
if someone steals something, I don't think that's evil. I think
It
it's
could be.
well, it depends, right? Now we're going into the gray area of like, okay, what did they steal? Why did they steal it?
Yeah, so
So
at that point, I would just say that it's not necessarily evil to steal, but then there's like some things that I think it probably is like necessarily evil to do. For example, I think like all else equal, it's extraordinarily evil to like grape somebody or like schmurder somebody.
yeah. So what do you think we got our moral compass from?
Evolution, probably. I think evolution plays a huge role. That there's really good evolutionary reasons why we would have the morals that we do.
Also, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, because so we have these like specific moral intuitions about like protecting children, for example. That's why the morality of cases where like kids are involved, the morals get like amplified like 1,000-fold, because evolutionarily it's good to want to protect kids so that they grow up and are able to themselves have kids and spread those genetics. That we have these innate senses that it's like wrong to schmurder people who are in the same in-group as us, that we have this sense that it's like wrong to steal from people who are our friends. All of these things are just good for survival. We survive better as a community if we follow these rules.
I I don't agree. I think inside us there's something that we cannot explain. So we try to think that our environment could influence our moral beliefs, which that is true. But I feel like deeply under, we actually don't know where our emotion comes from.
No, we do. Emotion comes from the brain. And in fact, we know where morals
Yeah.
come from too. Morals just track on to our like moral intuitions. And this just tracks on to like specific areas of our brain that if you find something to be like counterintuitive and repulsive, like an action in the world is like counterintuitive and repulsive, then you'd probably label it as immoral. But if it seems like rational and reasonable and you like it, then typically you'll label it as like a moral thing to do.
Because the only thing I really struggle with is that why do I really care if I do good, or I don't care if I do good or evil. Like
You shouldn't say that.
I mean, because it comes from just my. I think my moral beliefs came from God. I think I'm a byproduct of His making.
If you found out tomorrow that God isn't real, would you just go out there and start like graping and schmurdering?
I do something differently. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I won't do those specifically, but I'll do something differently. I'll live my life different.
Well, I feel like despite God not existing, I've never felt the temptation to go and do some like crazy immoral shit.
So, do you believe that so you believe God is not real because there's no evidence of God being real?
No, because there's evidence against God being real. I think God's not real because of all the grotesque evils that happen in nature.
And you think because He hasn't fixed it or He hasn't done anything to it?
Because he either doesn't stop it or he set the system up that way, that he is like responsible for this. That if somebody had the cure for cancer but they didn't release it, this person's responsible for all the people who are unalived by cancer.
So, by your logic, you're saying the absence of evidence, but the absence of evidence doesn't equate the fact that something is not real.
Wait, I think you're just not hearing me. I'm not saying that there's an absence of evidence. I'm saying that there's lots of evidence against his existence. I'm not saying like, well, there's just no evidence for him. I'm saying there is evidence. It's just all against him.
Oh, so you do believe God is real then?
No.
Because
I'm saying that there's lots of evidence that God isn't real. My argument is not, well, we just have no evidence, so I guess there's no God. My argument is there's lots of evidence that God isn't real.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is wrong with people believing God is real when philosophically it's actually good for people to believe God is real?
How is it philosophically good for people to believe that God is real?
It's a defense against anxiety.
Against anxiety?
Absolutely.
I think you mean psychologically. So if what you're saying is that you need God to cope with like the struggles of the day, or like you need God to prevent you from going and doing like heinous shit, then I say, go for it. Sounds good. But that's not a rigorous philosophical position. That's cope. You're just coping with the harshness of reality. And we all cope in our different ways. Me personally, I like to confront problems head on. I like to take like an accurate account of things. Whereas some people like to hide in their imagination. To each their own, I guess. It's really not like a philosophical position at that point.
Okay. Well, let's go into more of a spiritual realm. Do you believe in spiritual realms?
No, I don't believe in spiritual anything.
What about psychedelics?
I think that psychedelics are real.
Okay. So if you believe psychedelics are real, then how do you explain people being cured for people being seeing things whenever they take psychedelics?
Yeah, because you're hallucinating. They're called hallucinogens.
No. I'm talking about people saying things that has been proven to be real. For example, addiction, right? Some people, whenever they take psychedelics, they recover from addiction.
Oh, sure. So in your hallucination, one of the byproducts of psychedelics is that they rewire your brain, or they make your brain like a lot more open to change, which means that if you're struggling with something, it's a lot easier to get through it if you're doing like psychedelics, or at least there's like some research that points to that. I don't know. You should don't take my word for it.
Okay, because I mean, I don't want to insert I want to keep this out of my own personal experience.
Yeah. Wait. Do you have any more arguments for God? Otherwise, I'll probably move on to the next guest.
Yeah, you probably should. Oh, well,
all right. Well, appreciate you coming on up here. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends. If you are in that guest request box, make sure you're 18 or older, that you think that you believe in the God of the Bible, Torah, or Quran, and that you think, or that you have that you have an argument for why God is real that doesn't involve personal experience. Make sure you're sharing it with your friends, dropping a comment as well. Let's get all the way up to 50K likes if everybody left. How many would that be? That'd probably be like 30 likes from each of you. We'd already be there, so just keep on double tapping on that screen. If you want to support the stream, Venmo's allegedly-Ian, and the Cash App is just allegedly Ian. Both are in my bio. What's up? How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, and what religion are you?
I'm Christian.
Yeah, so what's your strongest argument for the existence of God that does not involve personal experience?
I was really why I came up was because you were talking about God being all powerful. So I believe God is all powerful. And you were explaining to him that he can't be all powerful because if there's a rock that he can't make that's too heavy for him to lift, then that means he's not all powerful. Is that correct?
Yes, but there's like an asterisk that this only applies if you think that God doesn't exist outside of logic, that you can easily solve this problem by just saying that God can't do contradictions.
No, but I think my point was is if God was say if this God is all powerful, then there's nothing he can't do. That's what would make him all powerful.
That's not the right solution to it, because that just leads to nonsense, as we saw earlier.
What do you mean?
So do you think that God has the power to make a rock that he doesn't have the power to lift?
No, that's what makes him all powerful. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. So he lacks the power to do that.
No, that he can't. So he's all powerful. So there's nothing he can't do. It's because the reason why he is all powerful is because there's nothing that he can't do.
Because I could sit down and I could like make a cast iron rock that's so heavy I can't lift it. That's a power that I have. So I'm just asking, does God have the power? Does God have the power to make a rock that's so heavy he doesn't have the power to lift it?
That's a lack of power. If you can make something that you can't lift, that's a lack of power.
No, because you're affirmatively creating a new thing and you're imbuing it with a specific property. Does God have the power to make a thing and imbue it with a property?
Okay, when you say imbue it, what's that? What are you saying?
Yeah. So you just like give something a property, like you could like take a piece of wood, spray paint it red. You've in some sense like imbued it with redness.
Can God make something red?
No, I'm just asking, like, can God make an object and then give it a property?
Yes, everything.
So which properties does God not have the power to give?
That's what I'm telling you. There is no properties. There is nothing he can't do.
Yeah, so there's no property he can't give. So if I could think of a property, like unliftability, there's like rocks have the property of unliftability relative to individuals. So for example, relative to me, there's going to be lots of rocks that are unliftable. So I'm just asking, so insofar as this is a property that does exist, could God make a rock with the property of unliftability?
Right, but unliftability is only regarded to humans.
But I'm asking if he could make one. Does he have the power to make one for him that's like unliftable himself?
Right, and what I'm trying. Okay, let me say it one more time. And because he's all powerful, there's nothing he can't do.
Yeah. So can he? Wait. So yes or no? Can he make a rock that's so powerful he can't, or that he doesn't have the power to lift?
Right, but if he couldn't do it, that would make him not.
It's a yes or no question. I'm just gonna need the yes or no.
Yeah, it's not all powerful if you can't lift it.
Yeah, so is the yes or no? Yes, he has the power, or no, he doesn't have the power? Which one?
Okay, yes, he has the power. No, he has the. No, what I'm saying is there is no way if he had made a rock.
It's a yes or no question. Yes, right, he does have the power to make the rock. It's not a yes or no
question. It's not a yes or no answer.
No, he doesn't have the power to make the rock. Is it going to be yes, he does have the power to make the rock? Or no, he doesn't have the power to make the rock?
Yes, he has the power to make a rock. Yes, he has
but the rock that's so heavy that he can't lift it. Does he have the power to make the rock that's so heavy he doesn't have the power to lift it?
That's the part that doesn't
no,
make sense.
He doesn't have the power to make the rock that's so heavy he doesn't have the power to lift it. It's a yes or no question. I'm just going to give the yes or no answer.
That doesn't make sense.
Wait, and so the contradiction, the thing that doesn't make sense is not present in the question, it's present in God. The contradiction is not with the question, the contradiction was with God. The property of omnipotence leads to contradictions.
Right. So are you saying that something that is all powerful can do something that can make something that they can't lift?
Yeah, I'm saying that it's not possible to be all powerful because that would include contradictory powers.
Right. According to who? You're saying it's not possible.
According to logic, because if you're all powerful, wait. So we could do like an easier example actually. So does God have the power to make a sword that cuts through everything and a shield that can't be cut through?
Does God have the power to make a sword that cuts through everything and a shield that can't be cut through?
Yeah.
Can he make it? Yes, he can make both of those things.
Yeah, and then what would happen if you swung the sword which can't be cut through at the shield, or the sword that cuts through everything at the shield that can't be cut through? What happens then?
Well, the shield can't be cut through, but the sword can cut through everything. So what's the likelihood that both of them are in the same place at the same time?
But I'm just asking, if they were in the same place at the same time and you swung one at the other, what would happen?
Okay, so let me ask you. Okay, so here's the point. If you're basing this off logic, then why would God make a sword that can cut through everything and make a shield that nobody can cut through?
We're just talking about powers, right? So I have the power to go and get my like to go become the #1 customer of lean cuisine. I have the power to do that. I'm just not going to do that. So it doesn't matter if God. It doesn't matter if God would do that. All we're asking is, does God have the power to do that? Insofar as God has the power to do these things, then we can think of a possible world where God does create both of these things. And I'm asking, in this possible world where you take the sword which cuts through everything and swing it at the shield that can't be cut through, what happens?
Okay, so are we living in a logical world or an illogical world? That's what I'm asking.
Because you think that God logically has the power to make both of these things. Right. So I'm just asking you, if you think that it's logical for God to make both of these things, then presumably it's logical to take one and swing it at the other. So I'm just asking what would happen.
No, but that's what I'm asking you. What if God made a sword that can cut through anything and a shield that can block anything? God will also make it to where those two items don't meet each other. Where they won't be.
You're just changing the hypothetical. Wait, and I understand the hypothetical doesn't play well for your belief systems.
No, but
because you're just like going in and answering a question that I'm not asking. The question isn't like, what would happen? Like, would God create like safe measures? Would God create safe measures to make sure that this scenario never happens? My question is, what would happen if you took the sword which cuts through everything and swung it at the shield that can't be cut through? What happens?
Is this a logical God we're talking about, or an illogical God?
Wait, so okay, this is going to be what I said at the offset. That at the very, 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 very start of this conversation, I said that there's a very easy solution. Wait, that there's a very easy solution to this dilemma, and it seems like you're pivoting away from your original position that God can do everything. Wait, you're conceding your original position, because originally you said God can do everything. Now you're saying that God can do things that are logically possible. If you want to say God can do things that are logically possible, that sounds good. Concession.
Did you just say my position that God is logical? Did you say I'm holding a position that God can logically do all things? That's why he's all powerful? That God is logically all powerful? That's what right?
So it seems like what the position you're holding is that God can do anything that's logically possible.
No, I'm asking you, isn't that the position you're holding me to? That God can do everything?
That's the position that gets out of these dilemmas, certainly. That's what I told you at the start of this. Right. That if you want to get out of any of these, like if you want to get out of the rock, if you want to get out of like whatever else, you can just say, God needs to follow the laws of logic, so God can't violate laws of logic, and then that gets you out, no problem at all. But the problem is that if you hold that position, then you also can't later down the line, you can't back up and say, well, God's illogical, God doesn't make sense. You need to hold that God is logical, and you need to give logical explanations for everything that God does. That's the utility of the question.
If I'm giving a logical explanation to an all-powerful, all-knowing God, why would God? How is this a logical question that God would make a sword that can cut through anything?
So if you think God's logical, then all the wait, buddy, calm down. Let's just be a calm Corey. You're being a yelling
You just asked a dumb question
right now.
You just asked a dumb question.
I'm telling you that if you hold that God can't do logical contradictions, then all the questions go away. That just means that you have to like stand up and like say it with your chest anytime you're talking about God. That you can't run away and back up to, well, God just doesn't make sense. God doesn't make sense. That's fine. If you want to hold that God is logical, that he follows the laws of logic, works for me. Sounds good. But you need to actually defend and like answer questions.
Doesn't your question have to be logical?
Yeah, all the questions are logical. Well, so a question can't be illogical insofar as logic is going to be a property of propositions, whereas questions aren't propositions.
Okay, so again, when you propose that God can make a sword that can cut through anything, and then God you're not tracking. You're not tracking.
Wait, I've told you that if you concede, as you did, that God needs to follow the laws of logic, then all of the sword questions go away, all the rock question goes away. The problem is that now you're left with the problem of evil, and you don't get the answer, well, God's illogical.
Okay, so what is evil?
Oh, well, it's just going to be an internal critique in this sense.
Okay, so what is evil?
It's an internal critique. The problem of evil, the way I'm running it, is an internal critique. So whatever you think is evil is what we're going to call evil.
Oh, so evil has a endless possibility of what is evil.
If that's what you defined it as.
I'm asking you. You're the one you.
It's an internal critique.
You keep bringing up God as evil.
So yeah. So it's I don't believe in God either. So the way this argument works is that we presuppose your worldview, and then from your worldview we find contradictions within your worldview. So we're not talking about what I think is evil. We're talking about what you think is evil.
Okay, so how is God evil according to my worldview?
Yeah, so according to your worldview, God's going to be evil. I mean, if you're a Christian, you can just look to the numerous examples in the Bible when he says that like slavery is totally chill in Leviticus, when he commands for the unaliving of the Canaanite children and the Amalekite children, when he calls a bear down to maul 42 kids to death, when he puts out the death penalty for kids in 3 separate occasions, when he when he like reaffirms this death penalty later, when he in Proverbs, when he co-signs that you should beat your kids like 6 or 7 times. Chris, thank you so much for the 5-cent subscriptions. W Chris in the comment section. Welcome to the community, everyone who got one.
So those things are evil according to the Bible, correct?
Well, yeah, and to you they should be evil. They should be obviously self-evidently evil.
Is that according to, why should it be evil to me if I have a worldview that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, he can do whatever he wants to do, he creates the rules, he can change the rules, he can do whatever he wants. Why should that be evil to me?
Oh, so if that's what you want to say, but then you just sound like a crazy person. If you want to say, go ahead. Wait. How about you just go ahead and then say that slavery is good then? Go for it.
Why would I say slavery is good?
Because God said that slavery is good.
I don't make that determination. God
yeah,
can make
yeah.
that
Wait. So if you think what God thinks, and God thinks that slavery is good, then just go ahead and say that slavery is good. Go for it.
So is this my worldview or your worldview?
It's your worldview, which is why you need to say that slavery is good.
So in my worldview,
because in my worldview, slavery is distinctly bad. But in your worldview, you believe what God believes, and God thinks that slavery is good.
Distinctly bad according to my worldview, or distinctly bad?
I mean, if it's not if slavery isn't bad according to your worldview, then just say so.
No. I'm asking you, is that according to my worldview based on
it should be according to both of our worldviews. But if slavery isn't bad according to your worldview, then just say so.
So why are you not? So if you're using my worldview, then why are you not using that I believe God can do whatever he wants?
Gotcha. So then you would just say that slavery is good.
No, I can't say slavery is good because I can't enslave anybody.
Yeah, but do you think that it was good for the Israelites to own slaves?
Do you get it? I don't have that power.
Do you think that it was good for the Israelites to own slaves?
No, but if God allowed him to do it, then it was fine.
Also, so I don't have the power to cure cancer or world hunger, but those would be good things to do despite the fact that I don't have the power.
Depending on what? What's good? What's good to you?
Intuitively to you, these things should be good.
Where do you get intuition from?
It's just going to be self-evident. It's going to be a brain state.
How is it self-evident? How is intuition self-evident?
Do you want to study on it? I'd be happy to give you a study about moral intuitions. It's just activation of specific regions of the brain about things fitting to our specific expectations. Do you want the study?
How did it come about?
Evolution.
Okay, evolution from what?
From how far back do you want to go?
How far back can you go?
About 4 billion years, I think.
Is the world only 4 billion years old?
It's at least 4.5.
Okay, so is it older? So wherever you can trace evolution back to, is the world assumed to be older than that, or does that start at that?
Yeah, the world's older than evolution, yeah.
Okay, so the world is older than evolution. So where does the evolution start and how does it come about?
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer this question.
Where is it evolving from?
Yeah. So all the evidence seems to point to a process called abiogenesis, whereby the very first life formed out of organic compounds that were just swirling around in the primordial soup. From these compounds formed self-replicating molecules which had the ability to metabolize, and they then evolved into cells, full-blown living cells. Robert, thank you so much for the $2 on Cash App. W Robert in the comment section.
Where did the molecules and atoms come from?
Oh, well, they came from, I'd say that like matter has always existed.
Matter has always existed? So it's timeless?
Yeah, I'd say so, sure.
Okay, timeless according to what? How do you know that?
So I'm not sure if timeless, it's just always existed, that there's like time has always existed and that it's always been
eternal.
There.
That makes it eternal, correct?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay. What necessarily does it make it?
Because so I would say that like a triangle is timeless. But if I had let's say I have like a ball rolling down like an infinitely tall hill and it just like rolls for infinity, and it like never stops rolling. For that ball rolling down the hill, I mean, I wouldn't really say that that ball is
Who created
timeless.
the ball?
It's always
that kept
changing.
rolling?
It's a
Did it just come out of
hypothetical.
nowhere?
I created the ball. It's my hypothetical.
Okay, so somebody created it. Okay, so you're saying atoms
Claudia,
are
thank you
tiny.
so. The ball's not real, by the way. Claudia,
Okay.
thanks so much for the $5 on Venmo. W Claudia in the comment section.
Right. Hey, let's stay focused, brother. Where does the atoms come from? That because you're saying it's
I've
not
already
eternal.
answered this question. I think you have memory issues.
Okay, you're saying it's not, but you're not being precise. Is it not eternal or is it eternal? You're saying that it has no
So
start.
what do you mean by when you say the words eternal? What do you mean?
Eternal meaning it's always been. It has no start. It has no beginning.
Yeah, I can say that it's by that definition. I'd say it's eternal.
Okay,
Sure.
so and where are you getting that from?
Oh, that's going to be a simple fact that the universe has always existed.
A simple fact, according to who?
According to logic, I'll walk you through it. So,
According to whose logic?
according to our logic that we're about to uncover, I'll give you 5
No,
premises.
this is your worldview.
Wait,
so it's
wait.
not our
I'll
logic.
give you the argument. I'll give you the
Okay, go
argument. Let's just chill out. So, premise 1 is that a beginning is a change of states. Premise 2 is that a change of states is a change. Premise 3 is that a change requires a before and after. Premise 4 is that a before and after requires a past, present, and future. And premise 5 is that a past, present, and future requires time, which means that time must always exist, because in order to have a beginning, you must have time, which means that you can't have time itself cannot have a beginning because time would
What?
already need to exist.
What?
Which part of that did you not track?
The whole point of time, it has a beginning. Something that is eternal doesn't have a beginning.
Time does not
Time
have a
began.
beginning. Wait. So which premise do you reject then?
Time began.
So
Time
which
does
is that
have a
1, 2, 3,
beginning.
4, or 5? That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Which premise do you reject?
I'm telling you specifically, time began. I
That's
don't
not
know
a premise. Do you need the premises again? You need to reject a specific
No.
premise.
I'm telling you, time began. That's what I'm rejecting.
That's the conclusion. That's not a premise. That's the conclusion.
You're saying time didn't begin.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
That's my conclusion.
Right,
So
and I'm
you
telling you
can't
time
you can't
didn't-
accept all the premises and then reject the conclusion any more than you can walk to the top of a staircase and then say that you're not on top of the
There's
staircase.
a lot of things you think we can't do. It's weird.
You can do it. It's just like logically bankrupt. It's like
Illogical
philosophically
according to who?
impoverished.
A logical according to who?
According to logic.
According to what logic? Okay, logic is based on what?
Wait,
What
you're just pivoting.
saying?
You're pivoting all over the place. So
No,
at
I'm
first,
not. I'm trying to bring
we
you
were
to a
talking about the
point.
problem of evil, and then you pivoted away from that to the cosmological
Now you wanna
arguments.
go away
You
from the
got
atoms
waxed
being
on the
eternal.
cosmological arguments. Now you're pivoting.
Now
to
you want to
tag.
run from atoms being started because you have.
Wait, I already proved
you have
it.
a bullshit
You conceded
theory.
all
You
5
have
of the
a bullshit
premises.
theory that you cannot prove.
Wait,
You run around
so
here
which
acting like
can I
you got the
get you
answers
to
and
reject like one of
don't.
the premises?
And you don't. And
Wait,
you
so do you
don't.
want to, Jojo? Let's just calm down for a second.
Okay, let's go
Do you
ahead.
agree that a beginning is a change of states?
A beginning is a change of states. Yes.
Do you agree that a change of states is a change?
Yes. These be stupid questions, but go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Do you agree that a change requires a before and after?
Yes.
Do you agree that a before and after requires a past, present, and future?
Yes.
Do you agree that a past, present, and future requires time?
Do I agree that a past, present, and future requires time?
Yeah.
Yes, it happens in time. Past, present,
Yeah,
and
perfect.
future.
So then we would say that a beginning requires time, which means time itself cannot begin. Because in order to begin, time must exist. But if time began, that means it didn't exist. Which means that you would have time both existing and not existing if time has a beginning. So that's a contradiction. So time can't have a beginning.
So is eternal a part of time in your logical?
Time's just always existed.
Is time eternal?
Sure, yeah.
Time can be eternal.
Why not?
Why? I mean, how can something that's eternal be timed?
I just explained it to you.
No, you didn't. You didn't explain
You
how
agreed
something
to
that's
all
eternal
5
can
of the
be
premises.
timed.
I'm sorry. Oh, well, these premises are all fine and good, but this conclusion, I'm not
Yes.
too sure about this conclusion.
And what's your name? Ian. Hey,
Yeah.
Ian, if eternal is always existed, that means it doesn't have a change. It never changed because eternal.
No,
is
that's
always
not what
existed.
eternal. That's not
Okay,
what you
so-
said eternal was earlier. So if by eternal you just mean always existed, that can be a thing that exists and also changes. Let's go back to like the ball that's rolling down the infinite hill. It can just always be rolling down the hill forever, and it would just always be changing.
Okay, so let me say this one more time. If something is eternal, that means say I'm talking about the word eternal. Something that is eternal, that means it has no beginning.
Yeah, I think time has no beginning. Correct.
Right. So so how is time eternal?
I just explained it to you because time itself cannot have a beginning because beginnings require time.
Beginnings require time. Okay, I think that's crazy.
So it's so crazy that you agreed to all 5 of the premises.
Right, I agreed to the premises, but it wasn't about time. You asked me questions. You didn't say time. Does time?
So the fourth premise was that a change requires a past, present, and future, which you agreed to. Then the 5th premise was that a past, present, and future requires time.
No.
Do you want to go through the premise? You can go through the premises again. Let's run it one more time. Everyone, by the way, everyone's hearing you lie right now. Every single person heard you agree to all 5 of the premises. But we'll go through them. We'll go through them one more time. By the way, the premises, your positions might change, but the premises sure don't. So you're going to need to give an answer to them. Do you think that a beginning is a change of states?
Is a beginning a change of states? That means it has a start.
That it goes from one state to another state.
It has a start. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree that a change of states is a change?
Do I agree a change of states is a change?
Yep.
Now, if a change of states has a start, do I agree that a change of states has a change? If it started from something, what did it change to? If it starts,
it's generic. I'm just asking you, is a change of states a change?
Not all the time, no.
Oh, can you give me the change of states that's not a change?
What do you mean a change of states is not a change?
Because you're saying that not every change of states is a change. So I'm asking you, would you be willing to provide the change of states that's not a change?
So if something begins that didn't have because what you're saying, let me listen to what you're saying. You're saying atoms are eternal. That means it has.
Wait. You're running all over the place. Wait, Joe, and I understand. I really do understand the desire to run all over the place, especially now that you've been cornered. But I do need you to give me just an example, and I have it written down on my whiteboard. I'm not going to let you pivot away from this. I just need something that's a change of states, which does not involve a change. Can you give me the changeless change of states?
Okay, so if something is eternal, such as you use atoms, you say atoms are eternal. They changed. The atoms started out as atoms, and then they changed.
So is that a changeless change of states? Is that So atoms? I just want to be clear. You're saying that atoms are a changeless change of states.
What I'm saying is something is eternal and then it changes later on down the line. Its original state that it started in.
Do you even know? Wait, I'm sorry. I think you're confused. Do you even know what the premise that you're disagreeing with is? Could you restate what the premise is?
Let me say it one more time. You said does it have a change? Does change have a change of states? Is that what you asked me, correct?
No, opposite way around. Is a change of states a change?
Is a change of states a change? Yes.
Okay, perfect. So then you agree with the second premise. Third premise, does a change have a before and after?
No, not all the time.
Can you give me the change that doesn't have a before and after?
I'm using yours, atoms.
Oh, wait, so what's the change that they have?
Okay, does atoms form? You said atoms form everything, correct? We're all made up of atoms. I'm made up of atoms. You're made up of atoms.
Yeah, and then there's like some things that aren't quite atoms, but sure, go for it.
Okay. But I'm made up of atoms. You're made up of atoms. We weren't here at 400 billion years ago.
Yeah.
So those atoms changed into us.
Yeah, wait, so you would say that this was a change and it had a before and after, that before they weren't us and now they are us?
No, but before the atoms were, there was nothing.
Yeah, so before the atoms, we weren't, and then now we are?
From atoms, we are.
Yes, so wait, you're saying that before we were was just the atoms, and now after we exist.
Let me say it one more time for you again.
Yeah.
From atoms, we are.
Yes.
Okay.
So then a change has a before and after. Perfect.
Okay, but the atoms doesn't have a before because you're saying it's eternal.
But there is a before and after that these atoms. So the atoms themselves don't change. The atoms themselves don't change. But they change. But there's a before state and an after state. That there's the before state where we do not exist, where it's just the atoms chilling out, hovering around in some configuration, and then there's the after state where the atoms become humans. That a change has a before.
What was the state after of the atoms hovering around? What was the state?
We're not talking about atoms. We're talking about time.
Okay, you said atoms are
We're
eternal.
talking about time. You're not tracking.
Okay, and you're saying atoms.
So
are
I just need you to
eternal.
I need you to give the thing that changes, but doesn't have a before and after, because atoms.
Atoms. You said atoms
Definitely.
are
Wait.
eternal.
So do you think a hydrogen atom is the same thing as a helium atom?
I don't know the difference between all the atoms. I'm just talking about
But
atoms.
do you think a hydrogen? Thank you so much for the little crown. You don't know if a hydrogen atom is a helium atom. You don't know.
No, I know it's not a helium atom because
Yeah,
it's two different
perfect.
things.
So helium atoms, what's the word? They like diffuse into hydrogen atoms.
So were helium atoms didn't always exist?
No, they did exist.
They
Atoms
always
have
exist.
always existed.
Okay.
They change forms. There's
Okay, that's the change.
decay. That's the word, decay.
Okay, the helium atoms make a change. Is that correct? At first, 4 billion years ago, the helium atoms were just floating around. They were floating around for however long, eternity.
Yeah, so
meaning
before
didn't
they
have
were
no
just floating
beginning.
around, and then after they became like humans and like balloons.
Okay, so but before they became human balloons, before they start forming all these different things, they were just there.
They were doing other stuff.
mean they had no
they were
beginning.
forming other configurations. Calm down. They were forming other configurations.
Okay, what configurations? Tell me the configurations. What's
Do
the other
you want me
configuration?
to? So I just want to be clear about the evidentiary standard you're setting. You're telling me that my worldview is wrong unless I can tell you the exact configuration that
Absolutely,
every atom in the
absolutely.
universe was in.
Can't prove what you're saying.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you right now what configuration
You can't
every
tell me
atom in the
anything
universe
because
was
it's
in.
bullshit.
They were just in different configurations. Atoms take
Okay,
lots of
different
configurations
of what? Of
of
what?
atoms, of molecules.
Of what? Making up what?
Molecules.
Okay, making up what?
Molecules.
You can't answer it. Just like you just said, you can't answer it. So what
I'm
you're saying
giving you
is
the
a
I'm giving you
theory.
the answer. Molecules. Atoms
Okay.
make up molecules.
Okay, so before they start making up, so has molecules always existed?
Yes.
Okay, so what did atoms make up that didn't always exist?
Nothing.
Okay, humans always existed?
No. The
so
specific
then-
configurations themselves have evolved in complexity, but the fact that atoms
That's
make
the
up
change.
molecules has always been true.
Okay, so at one point in time, if you're saying something always existed, that it was eternal, you have to keep going back and telling me what it was before. At the very start of you said
Wait.
because it's
So
always eternal.
could you tell me what God was
When did
thinking
things
at
start
moment
coming
one?
about?
Wait, could you tell me what God was thinking at moment one?
What you mean? Can I tell you what God was
Yeah,
thinking?
when
at
God
moment
made the
one?
world, what was he thinking?
Can I tell you what he was thinking?
Yeah, could you tell me what
No.
he was thinking? Oh, perfect. Awesome.
That's not my argument.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. You're asking me to tell you every single configuration that every atom in the universe was making up.
You're saying it's eternal.
Yeah, and you're
So
saying
you
God's
prove
eternal.
that it's
So why?
eternal.
Wait. So why can't you tell me everything that God was thinking?
Okay, you're saying something is eternal. That means this is a proven fact.
I'm telling you that I'm
I
proving it
can't
with
prove what God was
philosophy.
thinking. I can't prove what the first thing what God was thinking.
Gotcha. Wait. So then God is not a proven fact. You're saying?
No. God, what I'm saying is that if you're saying God in my worldview, you're asking me to tell you what he said, but it's only in the Bible. I can only find what he said in the Bible.
Gotcha. And we can only find what
So do you think he said
configurations
something
these
outside of the
atoms used
Bible?
to be in based on physical evidence.
Okay, physical evidence that goes back how far?
At least 4.5 billion years.
Okay, at least 4.5 billion years, but you think atoms are older than 4.5 billion years?
Yeah, but that's just going to be a logical inference.
Okay, and then you're saying that these atoms were just floating around.
Yeah, they were forming configurations much like they do.
Okay, so they've always been forming configurations.
Yep.
But you just can't tell me what the configurations are.
And you can't tell me what God was thinking.
And so can you admit you can't tell me what the configurations are?
Of course, I've never claimed that I can. That's an
Okay, so
absurd
then
request.
what you have is a theory. Is that correct?
No, so it's not in the sense that you're using it, because when you say theory, what you mean is like a guess. I don't have a theory. I know that they existed, even if I can't tell you what each individual atom of the like trillions of trillions of trillions of trillions of atoms were doing. That I can still prove that atoms have always existed,
And they were
whereas
always
you can
doing
prove nothing.
And they were always configuring something. That's what you can prove.
Yeah, that's just going to be based on the properties of atoms. Yeah.
Right. So they were always configuring something, but something that you can't prove that was there. or even you can't even assume what it is. You can't even tell me what it might be.
But I can prove that they were always configuring things just
No,
based on the properties of atoms.
That from 4.5 billion years ago.
So there's like two basic steps to this. One, that atoms have always existed, and two, that one of the properties of atoms is that they form into various configurations.
That's your theory, bro. That's not.
Well,
that's not provable.
Insofar as you have accepted
provable.
all 5 of the premises, that's your theory too. You believe that as well.
No,
wait, so then which
atoms came into existence.
So then which premise do you reject?
I believe atoms came into existence.
Wait, but which premise do you reject?
I believe atoms came into existence.
And which premise is that a rejection of?
Okay, so I don't practice your okay, bro. You do these premises every day. I'm not running back all your premises. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're not running back the premises. You're running away from the argument.
Can you have the conversation?
Do you want to engage with the argument, or do I need to move on to a guest who is willing to engage with the argument? Can you have the conversation
from what I'm saying right here? Atoms didn't always exist.
I'm not going to. I don't believe that.
Right. Okay, so it's a belief that doesn't make it true because you don't believe that.
Yeah, but I have proof for it. I have logical reasoning behind it.
You don't have proof of that. You just said you don't.
No, but I do because I have an argument for it. Whereas you have storybooks to back up your beliefs.
That means you have a theory about what atoms may have.
No, wait. Do you think 1 + 1 = 2 is a theory?
Atoms being forever, being eternal.
Wait. Answer my question.
That's not the same as atoms.
Do you think 1 + 1 = 2 is a theory?
Does 1 + 1 have a beginning?
Do you think 1 + 1 = 2 is a theory?
Does 1 + 1 have a beginning?
Wait, buddy, you're really bad at answering questions. Do you think 1 + 1 = 2? Wait, you're really bad. Maybe if you keep on not answering my question and asking me questions instead, nobody's gonna notice. Wow, maybe if you keep running away from the question, we got a running Randy over here, a gibberating JoJo over here.
You're asking idiotic questions. Does 1 + 1 have a beginning?
I don't take a stance on that.
You saying you don't take a stance on that?
I don't take a stance on that. I'll be agnostic to if 1 + 1 has a beginning.
2?
But I'm just asking you.
Okay, so when do we find out 1 + 1
is it a fact that 1 + 1 = 2, JoJo?
Yes.
Perfect. So then you agree with me.
Agree with you what?
In the argument.
Brother, that's vague. What are you saying? I agree with you in the argument. What do I agree about?
So you agree with the 5 premises?
No.
Then which one do you reject?
Okay, so what I'm telling you is I believe atoms have a beginning.
And prove it.
What do you mean prove it?
Prove it.
Okay, 4.5 billion years ago, what were atoms doing?
Wait, that's not a proof. That's shifting the burden. You made the claim. Wait. You made the claim that atoms have a beginning. Now you need to justify that claim. You don't get to ask me questions. You need to give evidence.
My justification would come through my worldview of the Bible. That everything.
Yeah, perfect. Wait, so then just prove the Bible's true. Go for it.
How can I prove the Bible is true? How would I be able to do that?
Oh, wait. So you're saying that you believe in something that you have literally no proof for?
Hey, Ian. Let me tell you something real quick. Faith is
that's yes or no question.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Gotcha. Faith is a belief in the absence of evidence. It's pretending to know shit that you don't actually know. Jojo, why would you want to pretend to know something that you don't actually know? Wait, so I'll give you an analogy, Jojo. Let's say that you and I are sitting jury on like a murder case, and we have lots of faith that the person is guilty, but there's no evidence at all whatsoever. Would it be reasonable to find this person guilty just based on our faith?
Well, that's again, you ask the dumbest questions.
According to law.
According to law, that we have if we don't have the evidence to prove this, no matter if we have faith or not, according to our justice system, we can't find them guilty. We should find them not guilty according to our laws.
Would it be reasonable?
No. It's not reasonable according to our laws.
Would it be a reasonable thing to hold? Would it be a reasonable thing to believe?
No, according to our justice system.
Gotcha.
And the laws
wait, so faith is unreasonable.
No, faith is unreasonable in the court of law.
Why would I believe in something that's unreasonable?
Faith is unreasonable in the court of law, which is
it's unreasonable when there's any standard of evidence.
Is the example you gave me from the court of law?
Why would I believe in something that's unreasonable? Why would I do that?
Is the example you gave me from the court of law?
Yeah, it's about reality. It's an example about coming to a conclusion about reality. We can take the court of law out of it. We can just completely remove the court of law from it.
That's what you're building from, the court of law.
You're getting really caught up on it. So let's just make the example simple. Does the court of law have
rules already in place?
Wait. We can just take the court of law. We can take the court of law and we can recycle it. We can just throw it away.
No, let's
Jojo,
keep
and I know you're desperate because you feel the walls
Let's
closing
keep
in on you.
using the court of law.
Jojo, we got a gibberating Jojo over here.
Oh, you just gotta
answer the question, Jojo.
You're full of shit. You ask stupid questions.
Jojo, I'm just asking you a very basic question. So let's say
Absolutely.
let's say that we found a body in the woods. Now we have no evidence that like our shared mutual friend did it, but we have lots of faith. Would it be reasonable to think that our shared friend did it just based on faith?
Didn't what?
Like killed the person in the woods. Would that be reasonable based on faith?
So our friend, we find our friend in the woods. There's
we find a random body in the woods. We have a shared friend. Would it be reasonable to have faith that our shared friend, who is nowhere around, committed the murder just based on faith? We have no evidence, but we have faith. Is that a reasonable conclusion to say that our friends did the murder?
How would it be a reasonable conclusion and they're nowhere around?
And how is it a reasonable conclusion to believe in God when God is nowhere around? Exactly, Jojo, you got it. Wait, you got it. Yeah, it's unreasonable to believe that your friend did it because he's not around, and it's unreasonable to believe in God because God's not around.
But I believe he is around, and I know he's around.
Prove it.
Okay,
Prove it.
But you said you can't prove it with personal
burden
experience.
Shifting, more burden shifting. Prove it.
You just
Prove
said
that
I
God's
can't
around.
prove it with personal experience.
Oh yeah, wait. So that's fine. Do you have any proof that I could engage with?
Do I have any proof that you can engage with
Prove
outside
it
of my
to
personal
me.
experience?
Yeah, not personal experience. I don't care.
Well, that's what we base it on. We have a personal relationship with Christ.
Oh, gotcha. Wait. So
Is
if
that
God
our
does God want a personal relationship with everyone?
Yes, he does. Even
Then
you.
why are there people who go their entire lives being open to a personal relationship with God, and then they die as atheists? They would be extremely willing to worship and love God if they knew that he existed, but they're not willing to form a relationship based on hope.
Okay, so then that's their problem.
Gotcha. Wait, so why would, if God wants a relationship with everyone, why wouldn't he just give these people the bare minimum to forming a relationship? Knowing that the other person exists is the relationship bare minimum. You can't form a relationship with somebody you don't know exists.
He will directly speak to you.
Wait, so if I pray right now, he's going to directly speak to me?
If you have faith in God.
Let's check right now.
If you have faith in God, he will speak to you.
God, I'm sitting here with Jojo. Jojo insists that you'll speak to me if I have faith in you. So here I am, opening my heart, having faith to you.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Open your heart.
Nothing. We got nothing.
Are you listening for a voice?
I'm waiting for anything.
Are you listening for a voice? Is what I'm asking.
I'm waiting for anything. Any change at all.
Brother, so are you
a change at all?
Do you understand? According to our worldview, we already know you've hardened your heart towards Christ. So why would he be answering you?
So you think that I'm just being like intellectually dishonest? That you think
Absolutely.
that? Oh, gotcha. Wait, prove it.
What do you mean? Prove it. You have a prompt up that said God isn't real. What do you mean? Prove it.
That's based on evidence, and I say every single day. I've said every single day for the last month. So you just praying means it was.
If
anybody gave me the evidence, I want to convert. I'd be happy to convert.
So when you just prayed, that was disingenuous.
I would love to convert. I just need the evidence.
So when you just prayed, that was disingenuous.
No, I want to convert. I'd love to convert. There's just no evidence.
How do you want to convert and your prompt says God isn't real?
Yeah, because I'm looking for the evidence. I want to convert. Right now, there's just no evidence.
Do the people that you want to come up believe in God?
Do they? Yeah, presumably, yeah.
Okay, no, it's not presumably. The people that you want to come up believe in God. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so that means you don't believe in God. You're taking the other side of the argument, saying you don't believe God is real.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get their evidence. So I want to hear what their evidence is. So are you going to be able to wait? Are you going to be able to provide? Because you said that all I needed to do. Wait, Jojo, you got caught in a lie. You said all I needed to do was pray, but I prayed and nothing happened. I did have faith. I had faith and I opened my heart and I waited for God and nothing happened.
Ian, what you're doing now is called being a liar, and that's
you are literally lying. All you said that I needed to do was open my heart and have faith. I opened my heart. I had so you know better about my internal states than I know about my own internal states.
Ian, you're lying.
Wait, do you think Do you think that calling me a liar is going to make your position any more true?
Ian,
Because
it's
my
clear based
heart
on your
was
prompt.
open and I had faith. I tried
Ian,
really
it's based
hard
on your prompt.
to
You
get
can't have
a
faith. Okay, so
response
if you
from
have faith,
God,
take
and
that prompt
instead
down.
I got radio
Take that prompt
silence. Jojo, you are a
Take that
liar.
prompt
You said
down.
that
If you
was
believe
all
in
I
God,
need.
take that prompt
You
down.
said that that's all I need for God to reach out to me. But
Take
that's
that
not
prompt
true.
down if you believe in God,
That's
Ian.
not what it was.
Ian, you're a true believer in God. Take that prompt down.
I don't believe in God.
Okay, so then even when you were praying, you don't believe in God, and you think you can fool God?
Of course, I don't believe in God when I'm asking him to reveal himself,
Stupid Ian.
because
You
I'm
think
still
you
waiting
can
for him
fool
to
God?
exist. I don't think he exists
You're an
yet.
idiot. You're
Mike
an
T, thank you
idiot.
so much for the subscription. Appreciate
You're
it.
an idiot.
Wait, do you have and I agree
You're
that we can be,
absolute
we
idiot.
got an ad homing Adrian over here, and I agree that we can throw around like playground
Absolute
insults. Do you have oh, okay. Do you think that calling people idiots
think
is a
he's
good way to
smarter than
convert them?
everybody else. That's what
Do you
the problem
think
is.
that calling people idiots is a good
Crazy.
way to convert them?
You weren't gonna be converted anyways. You said God isn't real.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for the evidence. I want the evidence.
Okay, what's the evidence that you need? The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for and
So,
the evidence of
in
things not
order
seen.
for me to believe
You
in
have to
this, I
have
would
faith.
already need to believe in the Bible. In order for me to accept that as true,
have to
I would
have
already need
faith.
to think that the Bible is true. But I need you to prove
You
that
have
the
to
Bible
open your
is true
heart and allow
first.
God to come in.
Yeah, wait. Let's
You
just
have to
open our
open
heart
your
for a
heart.
second. Let's do it again. That's fine.
Learn
We can
it.
do this as
We
many
go to
times as you
God.
want. All right, heart
Learn,
open.
but you're not doing it.
God,
Ian.
I'm sitting here with JoJo, and I have my heart completely open.
Go
Please,
ahead.
if you're out there, I would love to have a relationship with you. I
Hey,
just
I got
need to
this
know
man
that you
praying on live.
exist.
This gospel-
Wait, why
this
are you?
gotta be
I don't
recorded.
know. Wait, I'm sorry, JoJo. Please, I'm just waiting for God's
This gotta be
response.
recorded.
Please, JoJo. Please, I'm just waiting for God's
We gotta get
response.
this
JoJo,
recorded.
please,
This man is
please.
praying on
You're
live.
speaking. You're talking over God, JoJo. Please, I'm just
Okay,
waiting for his
Ian, I came in, you
response.
said God
I'm
is
just waiting for his
real, and now you're
response,
praying.
JoJo. Please, JoJo.
Win,
Please, I just
JoJo.
want to. I want to hear his response to my
W
prayer, JoJo.
JoJo in the
Please,
chat
you're
right
talking
now.
over
Right
God,
up.
JoJo. Stop
W
talking
JoJo
over
in the chat.
God. You're talking over
W
Jesus.
JoJo in the
I'm
chat
waiting for
right
his
now.
response, JoJo. I'm waiting for his response. God, I
came on the
apologize
phone,
for
he said God
JoJo,
is
God.
real, now he's
JoJo's
praying.
very rude. JoJo keeps talking
Now
over
he's
you, and I
praying. Let's go,
apologize,
let's go,
God.
Ian. Go
That's
to the
very,
Father.
very rude of JoJo to be
Let's
doing,
go, Ian. Go to
especially
the
when I'm
Father.
waiting for your response for this.
to the
But
Father,
again,
Ian.
my heart's completely open.
Open
I
your heart,
have
Ian.
full faith. My
Thank you,
heart's
Lord.
all the way open.
Thank you,
but
Lord.
if you exist,
Open his heart, God.
I would love to know.
Open his mind, God. Open his ears and his eyes, God.
Any
Keep
sign.
going, Ian. Keep going. Keep going, Ian. Keep praying. You got it.
I'm
Keep
still
going.
praying. I'm still waiting.
Keep going. We pray for Ian right now. God, open his
Yeah,
heart.
yeah,
Open
let's
his
pray. Let's
mind,
keep on praying.
Open his ears. Lord,
Yep, open
unharden
his ears.
heart.
Open
God,
his heart.
we thank you because we believe that you died on the cross for our sins and that if we repent, we can come back to you. Even Ian. God bless him now. I'm thanking God for this moment right now. This is crazy.
And we got nothing.
We got don't wait on him,
Evan,
Ian.
thank you so much for the $6.66 on Venmo. W Evan, W666, W Satan, hail Satan. I appreciate it, Evan. Let's get a
Come
big
on,
W
come
Evan
on,
in the
Ian.
comment
Don't stop
section.
praying right now. Let's
Yeah,
go into
well,
prayer.
of course. Wait, how long are we going to be
Let's go
praying
into prayer,
for?
Ian. Let's keep praying.
Is God waiting
gotta
to make
wait
his
on him.
entrance? Are we waiting for God to make his
let's
big
pray him on
appearance?
in. Let's unharden that heart. Let's go ahead and pray him on in. Come on, Ian. Let's do it.
Wait, I'm not. So
do
we
it,
already tried your route. We already tried
on,
praying.
Ian,
Now
if
it's
you
time
wanna
for you to
keep
give the
praying,
evidence. You need to
the
give
Bible
the
says
evidence
pray
and the
without ceasing.
arguments. Your
You have to pray
prayers
without
failed,
ceasing, Evan.
JoJo. Your prayers
You have to
failed.
pray without ceasing, Ian. Let's
Oh,
keep
so I just
praying.
gotta pray. So I just gotta pray,
Pray
and then if I
without
ever stop
ceasing.
praying,
Keep praying.
Pete, thank you so much. That was
Keep
a sick
going.
gift. I love that. AG, thank you so much for the mirror. I appreciate that.
That's
What
that's
a
good.
phenomenal
I like that.
gift.
I like that one. Keep praying, Ian. You almost had a breakthrough if you would have kept going.
Oh, let's pray right now.
Let's keep going. Let's go. Lord, do it for him right now, God. Do it for him again, God. Open up his heart, open up his mind, open up his eyes. And what we need everybody in the chat. We need everybody in the chat to start praying for Ian right now. He's having a demonic possession right now, but we want to get that demon up out of him. Lord, use him, God. Use him for your glory, God. Use him to do your will, God. There's nobody like you. You are Alpha and Omega. You are the beginning and the end. God, if anybody can do it, you can do it. Lord, touch his heart right now. Lord, revive that spirit. Lord, get that demonic spirit up out of him.
Whoa, I'm saved.
Thank
I've been
you, God.
saved.
We thank you, God.
Whoa.
We thank you,
Whoa!
Lord.
I got saved.
Thank you,
God
Jesus.
saved me.
Oh
I've
my
been saved
God.
by
Let's keep going,
Christ.
Ian.
I've been
Don't stop there.
redeemed.
Don't stop there,
It
Ian. Let's go.
worked. No, I believe.
keep
I
going.
believe.
Keep going.
It
Okay, take
worked.
that
I've been
prompt down.
redeemed.
All right, take the prompt down.
Yeehaw. Thank you so much, Annie. I appreciate it.
Ian, take that prompt down.
Yeah, from now on, we only do God is real debates.
Let's go.
So
Let's go, Ian.
only request to join if you think that God is real. Only if you're in that guest request box, make
Let's
sure
go,
that you think
Ian.
that God is real. If you don't think that God is
Hallelujah.
real, then I'm not gonna. Or if you don't think that God isn't real, I'm not gonna debate you.
Let's go, Ian. Only debates you need to be doing is doing.
Well, I can't talk to Christians anymore. So far as I've been converted. Sorry about that. Got dragged to Cash App. Daniel, thank you so much for the $6.66 on on a Cash App. W Daniel, W666, W Satan, hail Satan. I appreciate that, Daniel. Let's get a big W Daniel in that comment section. Wow. Fuck, I'm out of shape. Frankie, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. And Gio, thank you so much. Giovanni, thanks so much for the $1 on Cash App. W Frankie in the comment section. W666, W Satan, hail Satan. Appreciate it. Kat, thank you so much for the dinosaur. Fuck. It really takes a lot out of you. Getting exercised and all. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 16, don't worry, I'm 16.
Oh, you gotta be 18 or older. Yeehaw. Thank you so much, 90 kid. Appreciate it. I should make like a God is real background just for the meme. Just greatness. Thank you so much. Austin, thank you so much for the $6.66
Hello, brothers.
Cash App. W Austin in the comment section. What's up?
Hello, I just want to talk about God. I see you don't believe in him.
Yeah, how old are you?
18.
Okay.
Actually,
And what year were you born?
2006.
Did you say that you're 18 tonight? Yeehaw. Thank you so much, Itachi.
No, turn this year, not tonight.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah. So, what's your strongest argument for the existence of God that does not involve personal experience?
I actually just have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Why don't you believe in him?
Because of the existence of like horrific suffering in nature, the existence of things like cancer, malaria, earthquakes, things like this. I mean, if I were God designing the world, I would probably make it such that like kids don't get malaria or cancer or are like unalived by earthquakes. So if God's all good, why would he make malaria?
So, if you didn't know, if it didn't pop up on your For You page, do you know why world is like this?
You're probably going to say the fall of man, which is out of line with all the evidence.
No. It's because when Adam and Eve were
The fall of man,
made.
yeah. Adam and Eve, yeah.
Eve ate that apple that was like poisonous. I don't know how to describe it. I don't talk English very good, if you understand me.
Mm-hmm.
So if Eve didn't eat that apple, the world would be in perfect shape. But Eve lost in paradise, but some men, I don't know, like 2,000 years ago, won against God in the desert.
Okay, so
If you understand,
humans.
it doesn't-
So the evidence seems to indicate that humans are around 200,000 years old. So Adam and Eve would be around like 200,000 years old. Now we have evidence that malaria existed 30 million years ago because we have like mosquitoes with malaria who are fossilized. So it's not the case that Adam and Eve are what caused malaria to enter the world, because we know that malaria existed before them. So what's your evidence that Adam and Eve are why malaria entered the world, and how do you respond to the scientific evidence that says that they didn't, or that they aren't the reason why it's in the world?
The devil is why it is in the world. The devil is.
What do you think the argument is, and how do you think that responds to?
Listen, Adam and Eve didn't put it into the world. God wanted the world to be a perfect place, but of course the devil exists.
But we know that that's
so-
not true, right? Because we know malaria existed before humans, which means that humans can't cause malaria. because malaria exists before them.
I already told you, devil made it up.
So would you think the evidence is just manufactured by the devil?
So
all the evidence you don't like, Satan did it? Really?
no, God is putting us through this because he wants us to be stronger, if you understand.
Wait, so why did God allow the devil to make malaria 30 million years before humans existed?
I don't really know, man.
Gotcha.
There is no. You can't ask questions. So we are talking about the existence of God, all right?
Yeah, and I'm telling you that we know that God doesn't exist because malaria is like super evil, and none of your explanations make any sense. So I would just assume that if God created everything, that God also created malaria, because malaria didn't come from Adam and Eve. Malaria didn't come from the devil. It precedes all of these things by like millions of years. The difference between 200,000 and 30 million is around 30 million. So malaria existed a long, long time before Adam and Eve did.
I don't know even how to answer this, man, because malaria is not the point of this.
You asked me why I don't believe.
Created
I don't believe
half
because
of
of
the stuff
malaria.
of this world. The devil is with us on this world, actually. He is not in hell or heaven or between. He's on this world and ruining this world. Why do you think Christianity is the most mocked religion? Like Buddhism, I don't know how others are called, but doesn't it make any sense that Christianity is the most mocked religion in this whole world?
Well, I think it could be the most mocked in like places where Christianity is the most common. I would imagine that there's like probably some cultural issues with mocking Islam, insofar as the places that are like majority Islamic are like majority Islamic, like theocracy levels of Islamic. So it'd probably be pretty hard to mock those places or to mock Islam in those places. And then everywhere else, like no one really believes in it. And also Christianity is like being shoved down everyone's throats all the time, constantly. So
no one is showing it down your throat.
So in Oklahoma, the superintendent made it the case that every single class through 5th through 12th grade is going to teach the Bible. It's going to teach it in PE and math, in biology and all the science classes. The Bible is going to be taught in all of that. The Bible is getting jammed down these kids' throats.
No one is actually forcing you to believe. God gave free will.
But they're forcing you to read the Bible is what they're forcing you to do. So it's being crammed down to people's throats.
If you really want to find God, you will read the Bible. If they are forcing you, then that's actually stupid.
I mean, that's fine. Well, yeah, but so that's like probably a good starting place for why it's mocked. But do you have any evidence that God exists, or do I need to move on to the next guest?
I have a personal encounter with him, actually.
I don't want to hear about that.
No, I just want to tell you if you don't want to.
I'm not going to listen. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen. Let's get all the way up to 120k likes. If everybody left 10 likes right now, we'd already be there. If you want to support the stream, the Venmo is allegedly -Ian, and the Cash App is just allegedly Ian. Appreciate any and all support. Sorry if I missed your gift, by the way. God, getting exercise really took it out of me. But make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff. As we go to the next guest. What's up? How's it going?
On yourself. You see, I want to ask you a question now.
Yeah, what's your question?
Why don't you believe that the Lord is real?
Yeah, that's just because of the existence of like gratuitous natural evils, things like cancer and malaria and earthquakes, and the fact that there's an entire group of animals called carnivores which literally only exist by unaliving and painful and vicious, gruesome ways other animals, that the lion's only able to survive by tearing the sheep limb from limb. I don't know, that's pretty messed up. If I were God, I probably would have made things different.
All right. Now, how do you think you were made? If the Lord isn't real, How do you think?
Oh, I think I came from my parents and they came from their parents. And if you go back far enough, there's like a single-celled organism.
How do you think the creation happened between your parents and going back generations to come?
Oh, evolution.
Evolution. So you believe that things happen through evolution, that they are just made.
That the things that are good at surviving and reproducing are going to be more likely to survive and reproduce. That there's our traits mutate, and from these traits form new traits. And from these new traits, they'll either be neutral, advantageous, or harmful. And that according to this scale, the traits that are good for survival and reproduction are going to help you survive, or going to be more likely to survive and reproduce.
Okay, but the Lord took 6 days to make the earth.
Prove
And he
it.
took 9 months to make you.
Prove it.
You just have to go read the Bible instead of
Yeah,
trying
prove
to
that the Bible's true. Go for it.
Okay, I will. I will come back to you one day and I'll show you.
Wait, so that's fine. So if you don't have the proof that the Bible is real, then I'll just take the initiative and give you the proof that the Bible's not real. So you're talking about the Genesis stories. Let's talk about Genesis. No part of Genesis happened, and I can demonstrate this like very easily with the flood, for example. The flood definitely didn't happen. So if there was a global flood that took out all life on Earth, how did the kangaroos get to Australia?
How did they get there?
How did they get there?
How did they get there? Well, with the Lord changing the earth every single year, the tectonic plates move the earth around due to the fact that the Lord controls the earth. He made
Gotcha.
the world.
So that's not true, because we know that Pangea split apart around like 200 million years ago, whereas your flood would have been like 10,000 years ago. Even if you think that it's like closer to the start of humans, that would still be like 200,000 years ago. So the difference between 200 million and 200,000 is like 200 million. So there's like a huge discrepancy there.
Okay, but you're not making sense. You don't believe in the Lord, but you still read the word of the Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
Contradicting yourself.
There's no
You're still
contradiction
following-
here. I was
you're still-
forced
you're
I was
following
forced to read the word of the Lord, and now I'm telling you why none of it makes sense.
But the thing is,
I'm not contradicting myself. You're contradicting yourself by believing in this thing that you can't justify.
I'm not though, because the Lord saves.
Then justify
The
it.
Lord hadn't saved me.
Yeah,
would
if you're not doing what I accused you of doing, then justify it. So why is the scientific evidence so wildly out of line with the theory that you're positing?
Okay. I don't know how to get across to you that the Lord is real. Okay?
Well, I just need you to answer the question.
And what's that question?
Well, yeah, I was like, how did the kangaroos get to Australia? But you said Pangea, and I explained to you that Pangea happened around 200 million years before the time that you think it happened, which means that
Okay,
that's not going to be a satisfactory answer. So do you have any response to the scientific evidence that I put forward?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, what's your response?
Kangaroos were created to be on Australia. The first kangaroo was in Australia already. It didn't have to travel towards there at all. How do you think the first cell, what do you believe in? How do you think the first cell was made?
Wait. But let's just go back to that because I don't believe in souls either. But so it was created in Australia. So then what happened when it was like exterminated and wiped off the face of the earth?
Okay, so let me explain something. Like I said to you, the Lord took 6 days to make the earth. The Lord planted things on the earth for specific reasons, for specific causes. I understand there are different religions, but all of those religions lead up to the same Lord. Yes, you've got all of these other religions, Islam and all of them, and they believe in so many gods. But in reality, all of it still leads up to Abba Father, which is Lord Jesus. You want
So
to believe in
what
something.
question did I ask you, and how do you think this answers it?
How does it answer it? It's answering it because it's telling you. You're asking me, how did kangaroos get here? How did this
No,
get there?
that's not the question I just asked you.
Ask it again.
Yeah, gotcha. So I want to point out to the audience, because you, Sean, didn't know what the question was, because you, Sean, weren't listening. So the question again was, why is all of the evidence, the scientific evidence, wildly out of line with what you're positing happened?
Okay, let me put it like this. The scientific evidence is so wildly out of line because people didn't live back then. There's no ways in possibility So you're telling me that the people from nowadays know what happened
Yeah.
20 million years ago?
Yep. That's correct,
How
and I'll
could
tell
that
you how
happen?
they know Pangea. So we know
it's
the rate.
Einstein that's been
Yeah,
born
it's like
over
a
again.
couple of ways. So we know the rate at which Pangea splits apart. We know the time period at which we stop seeing similar fossils on the same coastline. So we know that Pangea used to exist because on the coastline there's fossils, and these fossils are similar at a specific time period, but then they start growing different after that time period. That time period's around like 230 million years ago, which is how we know that it's going to be like roughly right around this time period where the split of Pangea actually happened.
Okay, so in your head, don't you think that things have happened due to the fact that the Lord has made
No, I
word?
don't believe in God, so obviously not. Like, do things happen because like Zeus and Poseidon and Apollo do them in your mind?
But everything happens because the Lord has placed it like that.
Prove it.
There's a way of proving it. The reason I can't talk for you, but it just feels like you don't want to believe it, and it's an odd reason.
You haven't given any proof.
The Lord is speaking
You've
to
given
me right
literally
now.
zero, like a big old goose egg of
Proof is all
proof.
in what I'm
Nothing.
saying, because the Lord is talking straight through me, straight towards a satanic person.
Yeah,
You
so
are
so presumably,
you are still-
if the
but
Lord was
you are
speaking
still
through you, he would
reading.
have some better arguments.
You know what the sad thing is? You still read the word of the Lord.
It was forced
try to
onto
find
me.
the
What can I
answers.
say? I used to be Christian. I wish I could
Used
flush
to
it out of me.
But here's the thing. You used to be Christian, so what changed? What
Oh, I
happened
just
that-
encountered a logical argument that I didn't have a good answer to. So,
Logical answer.
yep.
So you believe
Yes, it was literally just logic. I realized that the belief was nonsense, that it was illogical. I mean, if God was talking through you, you would expect
Yeah.
that he would have already known that, and you would expect that he would have some good counters.
but he does.
Yeah,
You
so
can't
then what's the
have
good? So
counsels through someone that's against him. You read the
because you
now
can just like
read
give the
through-
answers. You're just giving excuses
yeah,
for why you won't give the answers.
yeah,
Also,
it's not an
saying
excuse.
that God is speaking through you sounds like blasphemy to me, especially when you're just not giving arguments.
Oh, okay. So tell me this. How can you read the word of the Lord
I already read
and
it.
try to correct it?
Oh, because
argue
it's
against
nonsense. That's easy.
If you've believed in it before, why try and argue against it now?
Because it's nonsense. Because lots of people believe in it for no good reason.
And why is it not a good reason?
Because you can't give me a single reason why the Bible is true. I asked you, what's your proof that the Bible is true? And you had nothing. The Lord is speaking through you, and even the Lord can't prove that the Bible is true.
Watching TikTok? Have you been watching TikTok lately? you seen
Sometimes.
Have you seen the different religions that have gone forth towards the Lord?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know. Well, after
No.
your live, or whatever you want to call it, go search it and you'll see.
Sounds like you're terminally online Tim, but some of us are gainfully employed Garys, so we don't have a lot of time to sit around on TikTok.
But do you see how many people are on your chat saying that the Lord is real? Why
Yeah,
try and
I don't care about what the majority of people think. I care about what the
try and
logical
argue
argument
against-
is. We got a preaching Priscilla over here. Stop preaching, give an argument, or do I need to move on to a guest who has a real argument?
What is your proof about the evolution?
Oh, that's going to be super easy. So the first piece of evidence is that
It
our
comes to the
second
Big
chromosome. Wait, do you want the evidence or do you not want the evidence?
Okay, go.
Yeah, so the first piece of evidence is that our second chromosome is a perfect fusion of the 2A and 2B chromosomes present in all other great apes. This indicates that we had a common ancestor with them around 6 million years ago. Otherwise, there's literally, genuinely no explanation for how we have centromeres where there shouldn't be centromeres and telomeres where there shouldn't be telomeres. We got the DNA evidence that our DNA is similar to all of these species who we are presumed to have a common ancestor with, right? Like we share 99% of our DNA with chimpanzees. That's miraculous if God made us. That would be fucking wild. What a weird design choice. We got the fossil record, which indicates a change over time. And finally, you can just prove it scientifically. You can put a bunch of bacteria in a petri dish and then put antibiotics there and then watch them evolve to be resistant to the antibiotics over time. So what's your evidence that God said abracadabra and then made all life on Earth?
Because like I said in the beginning, the Lord took 6 days.
Yeah, and
to
what's
make
your
the
evidence that
earth.
that actually happened? Because I gave you all the scientific evidence for evolution. So what's your
Let me-
evidence
let me
that
put it-
God
let me-
actually
let me
made
put
it? What's the
straightforward
evidence
to
that the
you,
Bible's
because
true?
Clearly talking.
What's the
Bible
evidence that the
doesn't
Bible's
fit
true?
your
Go
head.
for it.
How do you think you got into your parents' nutsack?
Wait. I just want to, because I'm not going to let you pivot away from this. I want to know what your evidence that the Bible's true is.
Because I got saved. I've seen
Oh,
people
well, I don't
getting
really
saved.
care about that, but do you have any like real evidence?
Real evidence.
Yeah, like an argument
dude.
or like something like in the Bible that you could point to.
Right now, the Lord said one of these days He's going to come down. And the children of heaven are going to go up.
Yeah. It's gonna be a sick day if that actually happened. Like fuck, that would be a killer piece of evidence against my dumb ass. God, I'd get blown the fuck out in that debate when God comes down. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. So I'm gonna ask you again: do you have any evidence that's actually happened for why the Bible is true?
You know what? It's so much of me trying to fight with someone that believes in something which is not going to change their opinion whatsoever.
I'd love to have my opinion changed. You just have no evidence.
No, you're arrogant. That's why you don't want your opinion changed.
No, I'd love my
Yeah,
opinion changed. I want to believe true
wouldn't.
things. If your position is the true thing to believe, I'd love to believe it.
You're arrogant. You don't
Gotcha.
want
Do you think name calling is going to get you very far?
Yeah. Not
Gotcha.
really.
Wait. So do you think that insulting people is a good way to convert them? Do you think that have you converted lots of people by getting blown out in the debate and then pivoting to you're arrogant? You're arrogant. Does that work often? Is that like a technique your pastor taught you?
My pastor taught me to love everyone equally.
Gotcha. And does that include like name calling?
Huh?
Does that include name calling?
We all sin. We're not all perfect, so I guess so.
Never. I mean, I never said that I was all perfect.
And if you want to believe that, then so be it. But after this, go read Proverbs and try and prove that wrong.
So I have a question about Proverbs actually, because it says multiple times in Proverbs that you should beat your kids. Do you think beating kids is good?
I don't think it's good.
So then why does it say in Proverbs, the book that you directed me towards, that it's good?
I can't tell you.
Do you want to read some of the verses together?
Well, you can read it.
Yeah, let's pull up some Proverbs. I love Proverbs. Yeah, all right, let's go through. These Proverbs verses are like pretty crazy. But you know, these are the ones that your church probably didn't teach.
Okay, go.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm like pulling it up. Damn. Let's start with Proverbs 22:15. A youngster's heart is filled with foolishness. Oh wait, that's not the translation I want. I want the NRSV VUE. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline drives it away. Let's do 2030. Blows that wound cleanse away evils. Beatings make clean the innermost parts. We got 23:13. Do not withhold discipline from your children. If you beat them with a rod, they will not die.
Okay.
We got
now
29:15.
Actual Bible.
Wait. Hold on. We got 29:15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by a neglected child. We got 13:29. I think 13:29 is the last one. Oh no, it's 13:24. That's what it is. Those who spare the rod hate their children, but those who love them are diligent to discipline them. So if we look at Proverbs, we get a lot of verses about beating kids. So I'll ask you again: do you think beating kids is good? Do you agree with the sentiments in 23:13 that do not withhold discipline from your children? If you beat them with a rod, they will not die. Do you think that's good?
Can you answer my question? Is this your version of the Bible? Or is this the actual Bible?
This is the NRSVUE. This is the scholarly Bible.
Because I don't understand how you can read the word of the Lord, but at the same time argue against it.
You're on the verge of tears right now. We just read the Bible together. You told me to go read Proverbs. This is what we find in Proverbs.
Tears, trust me, buddy. I'm not on the verge of tears, but it's okay.
There's just like some quiver in your voice. But that's okay.
That's how my voice is, but anyway.
Giovanni, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Giovanni, W666, W Satan, Hail Satan. I appreciate it. But you told me to go read Proverbs, so we just all read Proverbs together. It talks an awful lot about beating kids.
Okay. And don't you think that kids need discipline?
Because earlier you said that beating kids is bad, but now it seems like you've changed your tune. I think that kids need discipline. I think that it's a scientific fact that beating them doesn't help.
Disciplining them are two different things.
Yeah, but it says beat them with a rod. All of these talk about the rod and beating kids with a rod. There is monumental amounts of evidence that this type of punishment actually doesn't work, makes everything worse, and like fucks up your kid for the long term. I mean, if you think that it was God writing this, you'd think that he would have methods that are like statistically verifiable, but instead he has like all of this stuff, which makes sense if it was just written by like a person, but doesn't make sense that if it was written by a god.
You know, I can sit here for hours and try to argue with you, but there is no point.
You haven't given any arguments.
I don't need to give you any arguments. So
you can't say that you've been sitting here for hours arguing with me when you admit that you haven't given me arguments.
But I have. You are following a scientific way of you thinking of how the world was made. This
Correct.
isn't a game where the world was just spawned out of nowhere.
I don't think it was. I think the universe has always existed.
Okay.
All right, I accept your surrender. Folded like a chair, scrambled like an omelet, reformatted like a hard drive, get your ankles absolutely shattered, you will never debate again. We got a surrendering Sean over here. Excuse me. If you're enjoying the debates, make sure that you're double tapping on that screen. Let's get all the way up to 150k likes. If everyone left 10 likes right now, we would already be there. Share it with your friends, drop a comment as well. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older, that you believe in the God of the Bible, Torah, or Quran, and that you have an argument for God, which does not involve personal experience. If you don't do that, probably not going to talk to you. And with that, we can go to the very next guest. But if you want to support the stream, Venmo's allegedly -Ian, and the Cash App is just allegedly Ian. Appreciate it. Oh, I accept your surrender. Damn, how long is it going to take for us to find someone?
Yo, Ian.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, and what religion are you?
I'm Christian.
Okay, so what's your Aisha, thank you so much. What's your strongest argument for the existence of God, which does not involve personal experience?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing is the Bible's written over 1,500 years, 40 authors, and there's no, they don't, everything is consistent. Nobody
That's
contradicts another. No, that is factual. There's not been one contradiction.
Gotcha.
In
so
the Bible.
Was Jesus crucified on Passover or on the preparation day of Passover?
But then explain your reasoning behind it.
Yeah, so John says that he was crucified on the preparation day of Passover. In other words, the Last Supper didn't happen according to John, whereas Mark, Matthew, and Luke say that the Last Supper did happen.
Yeah.
So which one was it? Did the Last Supper happen or did it not?
I'm not too sure.
Gotcha. So that's a contradiction in the Bible. It's like a really easy one.
Okay. But you go back on, you want consistency, and then you go back and you talk about being logical, and then when there's the mere chance, you talk about you believe in evolution and that, and then you say previously the flood happened 10,000 years ago. Well, the day it says in the beginning God created the earth, and then it goes on from verse 1 to 2. There could be millions of years. So not every single Christian believes that the earth is only 6,000 years old. Many do, not all. So same thing. You talk about chimpanzees having 99% of the chromosomes. It's 98% that we share. But in that 2%
No, wait, I'm so
difference,
sorry. Wait, there's like a couple of things here, and I just want to like clarify a couple of things. So
98% DNA. We share 98% DNA with chimpanzees. Okay.
Yeah.
That it's not 99, it's 98. That 2% difference. There's 15 million differences in that. So you see what I'm saying? Like you can't use math and say 99%, but there's trillions of different differences.
So
and then there's
if-
15 million differences.
If
So
God made us,
yeah.
why would it be the case that like this is the way things are? Because the fact that we share so much DNA with chimpanzees makes perfect sense if you believe in evolution. It makes no sense if you believe in God.
Well, we also share 50% with a banana.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can't say we're half banana, right?
Well, yeah, but we share the similar genetics. Like we share half the same genetics
Yeah.
as
So like things, we're living. Okay. 15 million differences is a whole lot. We can walk on all fours.
Yeah,
and we
wait,
can
but
walk on twos.
why would it be the case? Why did God choose like this number specifically?
15 million? It just so
Why did
happens
he
with-
choose like 98.7% specifically?
That's not a mere, that's not a, okay. Why, you could say, why did God choose gravity to be 9.8 meters per second?
Yeah,
Things don't
that's
fall.
also like a real and valid question. Yeah, why did he?
Okay, because everything has order and design. I mean, you can't really act like that mere chance, that sparked the course back 200 million years ago, or billions of years ago, trillions of years ago. That's the reason that we have evolution now, and that we came to this point in life, and it all started from a speck of gases and dust, and now we're here.
So if everything is order and design, then why is 85% of our DNA completely useless?
Who deems it useless? I mean,
Yeah, it's because like the thing that expresses your genes into traits doesn't do anything with them. It doesn't express them. They're just like skipped over.
I know, but nobody has taken that DNA out of us to even deem it necessary.
So we know where that DNA came from, because so that DNA it's like a copy of DNA that's elsewhere. So one way that DNA mutations happen is that your DNA will like segments of it will like copy itself, and then this copy will like float over and like plant itself somewhere. But then sometimes this actually leads to like a trait, but most of the time it does nothing. So in these instances, this DNA is there, it just does nothing, and this is like the vast majority of our DNA. So like copied and pasted DNA, I think is like 40% of our DNA. And then the rest of the useless DNA comes from like various other mechanisms that are very similar to that.
Yeah.
So if everything's like perfect and designed, then why is so much of our DNA useless? Do you want like a study saying that it's useless? I'd be happy to provide one.
You can provide it. I don't need because here's the thing.
You don't want the scientific evidence. Yeah, I know.
No, Ian. Oh no. The thing is, everybody is biased on their end of the things, because I can go and pull up. I mean, there's a verse in the Bible that talks about the earth being flat before people even knew. I mean, the earth being round before people even knew it was round. You know,
Well,
so it's
people
like,
knew that it was round before the Bible. Actually, one of the
no,
earliest living.
no, see, but that's where you get your data from non-believers. But I'm a Christian.
I get this
okay?
fact
So,
from
yes, okay.
Parmenides, or no,
Yeah,
not
well,
Parmenides,
Ian,
from the
I get,
Thales of Miletus, the
and
first
every single
philosopher to
one
ever
of them,
live.
every
He
single
knew
one
that
of
the
them,
Earth was round.
every single one of them are not Christians.
Yeah, but this
Okay?
is a person before Christianity. This
No.
person lived in like 800 BC, and he
Okay,
knew that
and-
the Earth was round.
Well, okay, and in Isaiah, which is in Isaiah, it talks about that, the Earth being round.
Yeah, so this guy predates the Bible by quite a bit, and also it says in a number of places that the Earth is flat.
No, it says the Earth is his footstool. That doesn't mean it's flat.
If Justin's in here, I'd be happy to bring him up here, and he can explain to you why the Bible, like all the places that the Bible says that the Earth is flat. It says that it's like flat, like a clay seal that's been like pressed down into.
Isaiah 40:22 talks about it says, or the Earth, the circle of the Earth, which refers to it as being circular.
Do you think a circle is a
and
sphere?
Job 20. Look, buddy. I'm a mechanical engineer. Okay, I don't need to be discussing shapes and stuff like this. Okay?
Well, yeah, wait, but you said that it's a circle. A circle is not a sphere.
Circular in nature. I mean, like you're gonna argue.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, and how old are you? Are you a mechanical engineer or are you a mechanical engineering student? Because if you're like 18
I'm
and you just
21.
started college, this is stolen valor.
I'm 21.
Okay, that's chill. But you're still a student, so that's stolen valor. You don't get to call yourself a mechanical engineer yet.
Okay,
That's a job
okay,
title.
buddy. Okay, all right. Oh, I got 1 year. 1 year left.
Listen, as like one engineer to another future engineer, no stolen valor. But no, it says. I mean, it makes it pretty clear that it's that
Okay,
it's
what
like
about
a,
Job
like a
20?
flat
Job
surface.
26:7. Job chapter 26, verse 7. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Talks
one where
about
it
the
says
earth.
it's.
Yeah, the earth is deep inside. Its temperatures inside the earth is greater than the sun. I mean,
Wait, so Job 38:14, the earth takes shape
28,
like
25, 28.
38:14 says the earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Do you know what clay under a seal looks like?
No, what does clay under a seal look like?
You know, like those like letters, those like letter seals that they put, like the wax seals on letters.
Yeah.
It's like that,
Okay.
flat.
Yeah. Okay. From a viewpoint, a sphere looks flat. Okay. From the top.
Yeah,
view,
but
from
it's
the
like
top view,
weird.
a sphere looks flat.
It's weird that God would like use this description.
I know, but we can get into all. I mean, like, it's just so ridiculous to. Okay, first of all, like I admire that you're passionate about the things that you're passionate about, but it's like it's just the blatant outright just God isn't real big poster, and then the hail Satan. Well, first of all, it's like, hey, bro, you said previously you don't believe in souls. It's like,
Yeah.
but then you go and you say, hail Satan.
Yeah, true.
You know, hail Satan, bro. If
I do all
Satan's
these
real,
things. Yeah, that's true.
is Satan real?
No,
Then why do you say it?
because it makes people mad.
Okay, so
It's
exactly what I'm saying.
provocative, gets
That's
the people
exactly-
going.
I know, but that's exactly what I'm saying. So how you talk about logic?
Let's not be like a crying Karen here. Let's just be like a debating Daniel.
Let's
You
be
got like
debating
a-
Daniel.
Do you got like
Let's-
an argument?
My argument is all of the things that you have brought up. When I go and I say one thing, you go and refute it immediately with data that you've gotten from non-believers on
Wait,
science.
prove that these people are non-believers, because I could give you a study right now, or like a book right now. Most of these books on
There's
biology
been-
that I read are written by people who actually do believe. I think it's so the book that I got the chromosome argument from is called Relics of Eden, literally written by a Christian.
Okay.
Giovanni, thank you so much for the
Exactly.
$2 on Cash App. Appreciate it, Giovanni.
And Ian, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I went and said
That's the
okay,
opposite of what you're saying.
No, I said 98%. Yeah. Okay. because you go and you say 98.7% of our DNA is lined up exactly to a chimpanzee. I say that's different. There's 15 million differences.
Yeah.
That's you go and bring up an argument like that to disprove the Bible, but that's not even it's not a valid argument.
Why not? Why is this? Why would we expect this under? Because I can tell you why this is expected data under naturalism, where we think evolution brought about these changes, because there's like genetic drift. Species evolve into different species and they branch off. That makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. How does that make sense from a God perspective? Raymond, thank you so much for the $7.77 on Cash App. W Raymond, W Jesus, W777, Hail Jesus, Hail Christ. I appreciate that, Raymond.
The question was what?
Why is that like expected piece of data?
Well, why is it expected piece of data? Like, you can go back to the same thing I said. Why when you drop something, it's 9.81 meters per second and not 10? Like, why is that the case? Why is our gravity
so that's
this?
just because of the weight of our core.
I get it. But why did God design it that way?
God didn't design it that way. That's the point. It could have been like slightly in either direction. In fact, the existence of literally anything on the planet isn't evidence that God made it, insofar as God could have given a mind to like electrons and protons and neutrons. He could have made like a bunch of subatomic particles with minds who love and worship him. He has the power to do that, which means that there's no reason why he would prefer this world to like one of those worlds, which means that none of this world is evidence.
No, it's not. It's not this. The mere fact of existence doesn't mean that like the reason he chose, like the fact that we people on Earth does not prove that God chose us over. He also created Mars, but he didn't give us a brain.
Let's get on with it. What's the argument?
Look, bro. Look, I don't know why you get so upset with people. You start calling people names. You start mocking people. And I do know why. Because you like to provoke people. You like to provoke them.
It's provocative. Gets the people going. I don't know.
Yeah, you love to provoke. I know you like it.
But you have like I'm not really interested in the meta commentary. Let's not be meta commentary Marys. Let's just be debating Daniels. Do you got a argument?
Look, all right, pal. You're not gonna. You won't see it.
I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna see the argument.
No, you won't.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why does God let kids die of cancer?
Why does God let kids die of cancer? If I said anything, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, so it seems like in order for me to believe in your worldview, I must first already believe in your worldview. So the only people who can get inside you, so there's like a box, and the only people who can get into the box are people who are already in the box.
No, it's not what I said. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, then I'm gonna say it, and then you're gonna go off and say, well, that this and that, and that's not true, and this is like, because my worldview is God created a world, a perfect world. You would say that that's not true. I would say he created Adam and Eve and perfect, and because he already created angels. He created angels. He had people worship him day and night, and he wanted relationship. And so he created humans because he desired the relationship. And after he said, hey, look, you have this one thing. What's one thing you cannot do? And all of that, he gave him a free will. He gave him a choice. He put Satan came down on this earth. He did that to test, to prove that people would choose him for him. Because he wanted a creature, he wanted a creation that would love him for him. All right? They go and fall. Now, they are internally separated from God. God can't be around sin, and so the world is not perfect anymore. I honestly, I don't know if it ever really was perfect. I don't know if it ever was perfect because Satan was down here to begin with. I think it's all this big test so that he gets what he wants. And God is a jealous God. He's a selfish God. He wants what he wants, and he designed people to want and serve him. And after the fall, that's when you have all of these struggles. And he said he promised that he'll send a son. And there's so many scriptures in Old Testament that light to that, they bring to that, and they've all come true. All of the ones that in Isaiah, all of the ones in Isaiah that
don't make that claim. Come
all the
on.
ones in Isaiah,
You don't want to do that.
all the ones in Isaiah that point to the Lord's coming, that point to the Lord's coming.
Name one.
They came to pass. He came. He died. He was born a virgin. He was born a virgin.
Let's hear even one of them.
Even one of what?
Yeah, give me a verse in Isaiah. It's like a prophecy, like a big prophecy that came true.
Wait, what?
You said that all the Isaiah prophecies about Jesus came true. I'm asking you, which ones? Grimlock, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Grimlock, W666, W Satan, Hail Satan. Also, Tyler, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Sorry, I missed you for a second, but huge W Tyler in the comment section. I appreciate that. If anybody else wants to support the stream, the Venmo's allegedly -Ian, and the Cash App is just allegedly Ian. While you're pulling up the verse, I'm just going to go ahead and respond to your points. None of that's true. There's cancer found in dinosaur bones, which that predate humans by like 88 million years, which means that cancer didn't come from human actions, because cancer existed before humans, like a long time before humans. But that's neither here nor there, because I know you don't accept scientific evidence. So
no, I do.
Oh, okay. Then how would you respond to the scientific evidence?
A cancer being formed. Okay, you're okay. You get the point. 200 million years from carbon dating.
No, I don't. That's not carbon dating. That's probably like uranium lead dating.
Okay, uranium lead dating. You know, you find cancer cells.
Oh well, so the bone itself. We have the bone itself, and the bone has bone cancer.
Bro, I don't know.
Okay,
what does
that's
that have
fine.
to do? Well, how does that prove God's non-existence? I don't.
Yeah, it proves that the explanation you gave is wrong. That cancer existed before humans. So you said that cancer came from the actions of humans, from the fall of man, from Adam and Eve eating the apple. You literally said God made the world perfect, and then sin entered the world because of the actions of Adam and Eve, and that's where cancer came from. That is like bar for bar your explanation.
While you were doing your whole hand jant thing with your little hand signals, I said I'm not really sure if the world was entirely created perfect. I mean, Satan was here, right? Satan is not perfect. He was
Gotcha.
here.
Wait, so was sin already in the world before humans came?
Satan was here. So yeah, Satan was part of sin.
Then why the fuck doesn't God save kids from cancer?
God doesn't. He does not save kids from cancer because it's not his. That's not his job. It's not his responsibility.
If you had the power, if you were a doctor and you have the power to save a kid from cancer, would it be moral? Could you be an all good doctor and just be like, never mind, I'm good?
Look, Ian. Moral construct. You don't even have a basis for it because you don't believe.
Listen, let's not pivot to tag. I'm asking you in your worldview. Could you be an all good doctor and there be a kid in front of you with cancer, no effort to you to cure this kid of cancer? You can take it away like that. It's no resources expended on your behalf.
I would take it away.
Yeah, exactly. So that would imply that God's not all good insofar as he doesn't do that.
Well, okay, let's also talk about would you send your son to die for somebody who was blameless? You wouldn't do that.
would I send my son to die for somebody who was blameless?
Would you send your son to die for some people who sinned?
Me
To
personally?
save them? Yes,
Me
you
personally? Fuck no.
Okay. You see,
Grimlock, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Grimlock, W Satan, hail Satan. I appreciate it.
I wouldn't either. And so, I mean, you say a moral construct, and that's where I think humans get it all mixed up, because we all think things should happen, that they need to happen, morally good, morally not good. So first of all, if you don't believe in the Bible, I feel like you don't even have a moral construct. There's nothing to base it off of. Why you should
Sure there
grow up.
is.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
It's
So
all what
I
you
could just say
feel.
that. Well, so regardless of my personal beliefs, there's like plenty of atheists who hold like objective morality. So I could just defend one of those stances. Like I could say, like suffering is qualitatively bad in the same way that the sky is qualitatively blue. That I ground badness in the experience of suffering, and then say that we ought reduce suffering because it's bad.
Yeah.
So then I could just have morality like that.
Okay. What about people who are mentally ill and then they go and they kill other people? Or
That's a lot of suffering. That's a bad thing to do.
Yeah, it is a bad thing to do.
Yeah. So the theory of morality would account for this.
Look, I mean, there's only so much I can say, but look,
Would
go on to the
you?
next guy.
All right. Well,
On to the
appreciate you
next
coming on up here.
Have a good one.
Make sure you're double tapping on that screen. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too mean to them. But let's get all the way up to 200K likes. If everyone left like 15 likes right now, we would already be there. I believe in all of y'all. If you want to support the stream, the Venmo's allegedly-Ian. Cash App is just allegedly Ian. Both are in my bio. And if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older, that you believe in the God of the Bible, Torah, or Quran. If you do not, don't request to join, and make sure that you have an argument that does not involve personal experience. If you want to join the community and you're 18 or older, there's a link to the Discord in my bio. If you want to learn more about these problem of evil arguments, we're reading a philosophy paper. We're doing a little philosophy paper reading group, a little book club on Saturday. The paper that we're reading is Logical Problems of Evil and Free Will Defenses by Graham Oppie. I would love nothing more than to see all of you there if you're 18 or older. Make sure you've read the paper and show on up. Grimlock, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Grimlock in the comment section. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up? Dice Lemons, are you there? It's like a lot of background noise. I don't know. I'm good. But yeah, also if you want to join the server, people play bingo in there. The live chat's like super active always. So if you want like the live chat that just glazes me instead of this one that hates me, the Discord's the place to be. What's up, Lancer? How's it going? Are you driving? You don't even know you're here. Damn, we're never gonna get anybody ever again. Aisha, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, let's see if we can't get someone. Grr. It's never gonna happen. What's up? How's it? It just happened. How's it going, Ethan?
What's up, man?
Yeah. How old are you?
I am 27.
Yeah, and what religion are you?
Christian.
And what's your strongest argument for the existence of God that does not involve personal experience?
Sorry, can you say that again?
What's your strongest argument for God that does not involve personal experience?
Could you give me an example of one? Because I'm not really understanding the question.
Like the Coulomb cosmological argument that everything that begins to exist has a cause, that the universe began to exist, therefore it has a cause. And then you just say like that causes God for like this reason, that reason, or that reason. You could run like fine tuning that like it's much more likely if theism were true that life would exist than it is under atheism. So we have like a probabilistic reason why God exists, why like to believe in God. You could run like historical evidence. You could say like, well, the resurrection is true because of like this historical fact, that historical fact, and that historical fact. I don't know. Those are some of the arguments you could run, I guess. But if you're like confused, do you want me to move on to a different guest?
No, I think you explained that pretty well. I'm a monkey. So I'm monkey.
Damn. I can't, look at my dumb ass. Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Oh, sorry, that was an accident.
Okay. You should be sorry. I'll never forgive you. Just keep on double tapping on that screen, though. What's up? How's it going? How old are you? UJE, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I am 28.
Okay, and what religion are you?
I belong to the Christianity.
Okay, what's your strongest argument for the existence of God, which does not involve personal experience?
My strongest argument for the existence of God that doesn't include my personal experiences, my first strongest argument would be the world itself. Mm-hmm. The world itself and everything in it is pointing to an intelligence that we just don't have.
In what way?
Science has not found. That science can't even make sense of.
Which part of the world can science not make sense of? And also, just because science can't make sense of it, why does that mean God?
Why doesn't it not mean God?
So if we look at like the trajectory of history, we started off in like ancient Greece with people who hold these like religious beliefs where like they didn't know what the hell was going on with tides. So they were like, well, tides, that's Poseidon. They didn't really know what like lightning was. They were like, lightning, that's Zeus. They didn't really know what the sun was. So they were like, the sun, that's Apollo. So we have really good precedent that if we don't understand a physical phenomena that happens in our universe, that it's probably not wise to say that like, well, that's God doing that. If we don't understand something, we can just like get an explanation for it over time. There's no reason to think that God's the cause of it. It's the classic like God of the gaps fallacy.
I don't see why we wouldn't think it was God. And what does Greek mythology have anything to do with God?
It's identical logic because you're just saying like, we don't understand this thing, I guess it's God. That's what they did. They were like, well, we don't understand the sun, so I guess it's Apollo.
Okay, but you understand that you used Greek mythology. It's a myth.
Yeah, as is God.
Yeah, not even the Bible is considered a myth.
But it is like, regardless, it is a myth.
It's not a myth. It hasn't even been proven to be a myth. Wait,
can you provide me the proof? Could you provide me the proof that it's Greek mythology? Because there's some people who still believe in like the Greek gods. So what's the evidence that the Greek gods aren't real?
There's no evidence that they are real.
Yeah, and there's no evidence that God's real.
There's evidence everywhere that God is real. If you open up your heart and you let him in, I've been on the live since earlier when you were talking to JoJo. And those few seconds of you, oh, here, God, I'm opening up my heart. I'm coming to you, reveal yourself. That's not going to work. It takes more than that. Actually, everything that you don't believe in is exactly what it takes for God to enter into your heart.
Yeah, I mean, I already did my one exorcism of the day. I can't do two. I'd feel too bad. But do you have like an argument for why God is real? Because I'm not sure why the world itself is evidence.
I gave you one.
So okay, then I'll just run it like this. So if the world itself is evidence, could you explain to me how earthquakes are evidence?
That was my first argument.
Yeah,
You're
but I'm
like-
just asking.
you're
Well, so
like-
can you just like
you're
remedy
going
that with the
off
existence of
track.
earthquakes?
It has nothing to do with anything.
It does, because you're saying that the world is evidence for God. I'm saying the world is evidence
It
against
is.
God.
I said that the world is evident, yes, because it points to a higher intelligence that we have not even seen.
But I'm
we
saying
know
that that's not
nothing
true,
of.
because if the world was designed by a higher intelligence, then this intelligence is a sick fuck for adding things like earthquakes.
Why?
Because earthquakes take the lives of 60,000 people a year. In the 1600s, there was an earthquake
so you're
in
gonna
China
blame
that took the
God
lives of like
for
1 million people.
earthquakes? You're gonna blame God for earthquakes?
Well,
Are
because you want to
kidding
take
me?
you want to take credit. And you want to say, well, that's God, when you want
It
to
is
point to
God.
the earth. But then you don't
is
want
God.
God to accept the responsibility for earthquakes. So
He's
if
not
God's all
responsible
good,
for
if
earthquakes.
God's all good, then why would He allow earthquakes?
He is all good. God is all good and he is all love.
Then why would He allow
He's
earthquakes?
not responsible for earthquakes. He gave us this world. It was up to us how we treat it.
Oh, that's not true. Because we know that earthquakes have
tsunamis,
existed
all of
for.
those things. Those are all the byproducts of how we treat what he's given us.
We know that earthquakes existed a long time before humans existed, just based on the scientific evidence. We know that Pangea was split apart by tectonic plates and earthquakes, and that we know that earthquakes happen along fault lines and along tectonic plates, that we have a natural cause, that these earthquakes aren't caused by God. It's like a natural thing. They're not caused by like Satan. They're not caused by sin.
No one said that.
It's a thing that happened that they've been happening for a very long time. They're going to continue to happen for a very long time, which means that sin just isn't an explanation for why earthquakes happen.
I did. You're the one who brought up earthquakes, not me. And I
Yeah,
didn't say
but
that
you tried to give an explanation for them, and you failed in giving the explanation.
No, I didn't fail. You failed.
Then answer the argument.
You failed. I just answered your argument.
Wait, so what? Wait. So what was your response to saying that earthquakes existed before humans?
I don't understand what that has to do with anything you brought
Because
up.
okay, yeah, I'll lay this out for you. Yep, I can explain this. Yeah, so
No,
you're saying that
God, it
earthquakes
kills 60,000 people. You're blaming God for
Buddy,
earthquakes,
wait, hold
which
on,
makes no
sense. Chill out. So you're saying that earthquakes happen as a result of sin, and that sin comes from
didn't say that.
humans.
I
Well,
didn't
you're
say
saying
that,
that God
Ian.
gave us this perfect world, and
He
then
did.
we like fucked it up. So
we
you're saying
did.
that earthquakes happen because of sin.
No, I'm saying that earthquakes happen naturally because we did not take care of the earth.
Gotcha. Wait.
You
So
do
did they
dumb stuff.
happen
When
before?
You do stupid things. You
Did
get
they-
stupid results.
Did they happen before?
Perhaps, maybe.
Oh, so then how would it make sense to say that earthquakes happen because of human actions if earthquakes existed before humans?
I never said that, Ian. You're putting words in my mouth.
That's bar for bar what
And
you
I've
said. You
been
said
listening- no,
earthquakes
it's not.
happen
No, it's
because
not. And I
because
listened to
play
you
stupid games win
put
stupid
words-
prizes. You're saying
I've li-
earthquake.
yeah,
You
I
said
listened to you
every
put words in
single
every
person
other
heard you
person's-
say that earthquakes happen because humans don't take good care of the earth.
Duh, that's exactly what I said. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. You're being
It's
a
true.
gaslighting Gary right now.
I'm not
So if it's
gaslighting, you're
because
gaslighting.
humans don't take good care of the earth, then that would
That's
imply
exactly
that
what
if
it's
humans
for.
if humans did take good care of the earth, or if there were no humans, then there would be no earthquakes. Because you're saying that because of an affirmative action done by humans, earthquakes exist. That means no humans, no earthquakes. But we know that at a time where there was no humans, at a time where there was no humans, there were earthquakes. So that blows your theory to pieces.
It doesn't blow my theory to pieces.
Then respond to it.
It doesn't blow my theory to pieces. When there were no humans on Earth, there was a better quality of life. Like, I don't
For
understand
who?
what earthquakes, what you're talking about.
Better quality of life for who?
This is what you're doing. You've been doing it to all the other people.
better quality of life for who? Who had the better quality of life?
And
The humans that didn't exist?
so what is your point that you're trying to make? Because it's not landing, and it hasn't been landing for the last couple of people.
The point is that if God does earthquakes, he's a sick fuck.
Why? Why is he a sick fuck?
Because
And just like you
earthquakes
said,
are super evil.
just like
That would be a
just like
super evil
the
thing to
claim
do.
that you made about cancer and how God lets kids die from cancer. That claim is so bogus.
Wait, so okay,
You have
wait. So
no
I just want
evidence
to
to
point
back
out.
it
So you have no answer to the earthquakes argument. Let's pivot to the cancer
Because that's not what we're
argument.
arguing about. I don't have an argument for a stupid question, Ian.
Gotcha. So then, what's your answer? So why does God
I
let
gave you
kids
my
die
answer.
of cancer?
I gave you the world.
Why does
points to a higher
God let kids
intelligence
die
that
of
we have not
cancer? Why would God allow
experienced
that?
The second one is our moral compass. Earlier, you said we
Wait,
can't
buddy.
use
You're
morality.
just going your dialogue tree in. Why does God let kids die of
'Cause
cancer?
you're all over the place. I have to keep.
I'm not all. You literally
you are
brought
all
us to
over the
cancer,
place.
and now you're pivoting back to the beginning. You realize
Yeah,
that
'cause I
going
know
off of
you
the
are. That was
dialogue
the
tree just
question.
ends in you getting like torn apart on arguments. So now you just want to stick back to the dialogue tree, which is fine. But I mean, it
Yeah,
seems like you
since
wanted to
you've
talk
been on
about
here, you
cancer.
still have not
Do you want to talk
offered
about
any
cancer, or
point.
do you want to go back to the dialogue tree?
Do I want to talk about all the bogus claims that you brought up, even
Yeah,
with
let's go.
people
Let's go
before me.
one at a time.
So stop jumping everywhere. You asked me a question, and
You
then
are
you went to
literally the one who's
earthquakes.
jumping.
You started
Because
talking
you
about
said because so
earthquakes.
your argument was that look at the trees, and I said, well,
Sure.
let's look at the
Look at 'em.
earthquakes.
Look at them. Look at the trees. Look at the mountains. Look at the bird. Look
Yeah,
at the
look at
sky.
the
Look at the water you
earthquakes.
separated
What's the
from
deal with
sky and the
earthquakes?
ocean. Look at it all.
Yeah, and I'm yeah. If we look at it all, we can tell that God's a sick fuck.
No, where?
Earthquakes. If there is an agent responsible for earthquakes, then earthquakes are evil.
You make no sense. You're not making. You're not making any sense.
Do you think earthquakes are good?
What does earthquakes have to do with your initial question? You're asking people as soon as we join. Make your strongest argument for why God exists.
Because
I've been making my
you're making
strongest
I'll explain
arguments
it. I'll
for
explain it. So
and you
what
keep you're like going way off in yonder. Like, come back. You're distracted. You're all over the place. You
yeah,
won't
so
even- you
I'll
can't
explain
even
it like
push your
this. I'll
point
explain it
through.
like this. So you're making what's called the teleological argument that because of the design and the order of the universe, that's evidence for God. So in response to that, I'm making a dysteleological argument. I'm pointing out all of the disorder and things that couldn't possibly be attributed to design by an all-good God. So I'm giving you an exact response to your exact argument.
Okay. You're not.
That was so sad. Okay, that's fine. What's your next argument?
Our moral compass.
What about it?
If we just came about how you said we came about, then how do we know wrong from right? We've had to get that from somewhere, right?
So wrong from right seems to just be tracking on to specific brain states that we can do scans of our brains when given like moral propositions. And there's specific parts that light up in accordance with whether we find something moral or immoral. When we say this thing is moral or this thing is immoral, it just seems to be saying that we find this thing morally intuitive or morally unintuitive. These developed via evolution. There's good evolutionary reason why we would develop a sense of morality if we're social communal beings, and we depend on each other for survival. We depend on our like the structure of our society for survival. There's good reason why we would want people to conform to specific rules in that society.
Okay.
Where do you think we get our moral compass from?
I think I know we get our moral compass from God.
So if God decided that it was good to grape children, would that make graping children good?
No, because that's not what he's about.
But I'm asking you if he was about that, would that make it good?
I wouldn't know, Ian, because the God I serve is not about that.
But I'm asking you if he was about that, would that make it good?
No, it wouldn't make it good.
Gotcha. So then you actually don't get your morals from God. You get them from elsewhere.
No, I do get my morals from God.
But if God were different, your morals wouldn't be.
Christ. That's exactly where I get my morals from. I get it from him. Just because you don't doesn't mean that I don't.
But you don't get them from there because if God were different, your morals would be the same, which means that you get them from elsewhere, which is good because God is a bad place to get your morals from. Your
No.
God is the God who commands things like slavery or taking the lives of children.
No. Don't say things like that without giving context.
Yeah, Leviticus
Throwing out
22,
Bible
or
scriptures,
Leviticus
you're reading
25,
from
44 through
versions.
46, and 1 Samuel 15:3.
Okay, let's go to it. Let's
Yep.
go to it.
Let's talk about the slavery verse. Yeah. Grimlock, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Grimlock, W666, W Satan, Hail Satan. I appreciate that, Grimlock.
Okay.
Let's get a big W,
Second
Grimlock.
Samuel.
1 Samuel 3.
1 Samuel 3. Okay. Is there a verse that you want me to start off at?
1 Samuel 3 is the verse. You can read all of 1 Samuel if you want.
Okay, all of 1 Samuel.
Like just up until like 3 or wherever you feel comfortable stopping, but it just gets worse if you read for longer.
I'm trying to figure out what you're reading and what you're putting out scriptures onto your live, and you need to put like when you're reading the Word of God, like you need to be reading it right.
Yep, let's read it right. Yeah.
So, what verse do you want me to read?
Yeah, let's just do 1 Samuel 15.
1 Samuel 15. Okay, but 1 Samuel 15. Right.
The specific verse in question is 15:3.
Okay. 15:3.
Yep.
Now go and attack the Amalekites and completely destroy everything they have. Do not spare them. Kill men and women, infants and nursing babies, oxen and sheep, camels and donkeys.
Now, why would God command that?
He commanded it because they turned away from him.
The babies? Did the babies have the chance to accept him at all in the first place?
You have to read it with context. You have to.
Wait, so and did these Amalekites turn away from him, or did Amalekites 400 years earlier turn away from him?
They turned away from him.
So did these Amalekites turn away from him, or did Amalekites 400 years earlier turn away from him?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter because when he curses you, he can curse you. He can curse generations.
Yeah, so he can curse generations, yes. But then God's a sick fuck. If you curse a generation and command people to kill babies, you're evil.
How is that evil?
How is killing babies evil?
How is that evil?
How is killing babies evil? They're babies. They're innocent.
Okay,
they didn't do anything.
Okay, but you picked out
their crime, the crime that babies are guilty of, is being born to the wrong place.
Ian, you picked out this one scripture.
I think an all good God would have 0 scriptures where they command for the slaughtering of babies.
And so what do you say? Then what does our God do? Like, what does he do when he's faced with the situation like Pharaoh killing all the firstborn Hebrews?
Yeah, he can just say abracadabra and then teleport all of the Jewish people out of there.
You sound crazy.
What's crazy about that? That's like much better than,
I mean, who he is. That's not who he is. He's not a baby killer. He's a just God.
Well, he is a baby killer because he's commanding it. But Grimlock, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Grimlock, W666, W Satan, Hail Satan. I appreciate that, Grimlock. That's amazing. Big W Grimlock in the comment section. He literally is. I mean, you just read it. He is.
Yeah, I did. I did read it.
He's a baby killer.
He's not a baby killer. He's just. And this is what the story is about. This is
so you think it's so you can
justice. Yes, because he found his people. You're not reading it with context. You're not letting your followers know with context. You're only singling out like one part of us or just
the
one
context makes it no better. Shari, thank you so much for the fireworks. W Shari in the comment section. Jessica, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Venmo for God kills babies. Killing babies is never just. Hail Satan. W Jessica, W666, W Satan, Hail Satan. I appreciate that, Jessica. Yeah, I mean, you can say that it was just when God killed these babies, but you can't say that God didn't kill these babies because he did.
You're looking for an explanation. I don't know why you brought this scripture up, maybe to make him look bad, but
it makes him look terrible. Yeah.
If you read it in all its wholeness, then you would understand, but you're not. Reading
it in all its wholeness. Like, I actually assumed that the reason would be better than the actual reason, because the actual reason is that Amalekites 400 years ago killed Israelites. 400 years ago. So the crime that these Amalekites are guilty of is being born to the wrong parents. That's the crime that these people committed. This isn't like an act of defense. This is like going to people you are not at war with and slaughtering their children.
No, that's him keeping his word.
Yeah, and that means if he gave his word that he'd do that, then God's a sick fuck.
That makes him a sick fuck?
AG, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Huge W, AG, in the comment section. Absolutely. Without a doubt. If you command somebody to take the lives of babies, you're evil. You're
not
crazy.
evil.
That's horrible.
No, it's not.
No, it's not?
It's not in the way, not the scripture that you picked out, not how you're making God out to be. That's not who he is.
Do you think it would be just if we, like, I don't know, went over to Germany and started slaughtering their kids, like right now?
We're already doing things like that.
Wait, can you provide that? Could you provide the source on that? That we're going, that U.S. troops are in Germany right now slaughtering kids?
They don't have to be in Germany.
The source
They're on
on that?
other foreign land doing exactly what you're talking about.
But for past transgressions, would it be justified if we went over to Germany right now and just started, like, executing random Germans whose crime is being born to the wrong parents?
No, but Ian, I'm not God, and
it's not just.
are you.
Perfect. Yeah, wait, so then you agree that God's reasons are not just.
I'm not agreeing with you about anything.
But so you agree that it would be unjust for us to do this to Germany?
You're asking me how I feel about it, and I'm telling you that I don't feel like it was just. But I'm not God, and you're not God.
Yeah, but we still know what God's reasons are, and God's reasons are terrible. These are awful reasons. You're going to punish somebody for crimes they did 400 years ago. That's crazy.
That's what he said he would do.
AG, thank you so much for the mirror. WAG in the comment section. Just because he said he was going to do it doesn't mean it's just. In fact, if you say, I'm going to do this fucked up thing, and then you go forth and do this fucked up thing, you still did a fucked up thing. Whoa, I don't know how to pronounce, I don't know what emoji that is, but thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. It just sounds like God's like super evil. Just like an unfathomably sick fuck.
Super evil to you.
To everybody, I would hope.
No, but
wait, I just want to be clear. So you're saying that in order to be Christian, you need to think that it's okay for God to kill as many kids as he wants.
No,
that if for anyone in the audience who's like on the edge, on the fence, what this person's saying is that in order to be Christian, you need to be on board for God killing babies. Yeah. If you're not on board for that, if you think killing babies is always wrong, Christianity isn't the right religion for you.
That's not what I'm saying.
That is because you think, because do you think killing babies is always wrong?
Do I think killing babies is always wrong? Yes, I do. I do believe that.
So then you think it was wrong when God killed babies?
No, I don't believe it was wrong.
Then you don't think killing babies is always wrong?
I believe that if I did it, it was wrong.
But do you think it's always wrong? That no matter who does it, it's wrong? Sure. Alexander, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Venmo. W666, W Alexander, W Satan, hail Satan. I appreciate that, Alexander.
Oh, I do. I do think that if anyone was to murder a baby, it'd be wrong.
Do you think it was wrong when the Israelites carried out God's commands?
No, I don't. I think that they were walking in obedience.
Gotcha. So you think that it's not always wrong, that there are some times where killing kids is like A-okay?
No, that's not what I said.
That's like bar for bar what you said, that there's like that there is sometimes that specifically if God commanded you to do it, that it's like okay to do it.
And what I said was that I'm not okay with doing it. And if anyone else was to do it, it wouldn't be okay. And what
Gotcha. So if anybody else did it, it wouldn't be okay. So was it okay when the Israelites did it?
Was it okay when the Israelites did it? Did you just hear what I said? Because you keep going over it.
Because you said that, yes, it was okay because you keep on contradicting yourself. And I'm just trying to get the story straight.
I'm not contradicting myself. The Israelites were walking in obedience. You picked out a scripture about the Amalekites.
Was it good when they did it? So it was good when they did it. It was good when the Israelites killed kids. So then you think that there is some times where killing kids is fine.
Israelites, you're talking about killing. I'm talking about the Israelites being in obedience with God.
In obedience by doing what? Emma, thanks for the $3.33 on Cash App. WM in the comment section. If God commanded you to kill kids, would you do it? Whoa, thanks so much for the champion. I appreciate that. That's sick.
If God commanded me, I would. I don't need to.
But if he did, would you do it?
No, I don't need to. You keep talking about what if, but if he, would you, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You keep talking
He
about
literally commanded people to do it.
You're
What do you?
pulling
It's not a shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's like
It is a
he's
shoulda,
done
coulda,
it before. He can do it
Yes.
again. Daniel, thank
He
you so
has
much for
done
the
it before. That's what I'm saying.
$6.66 on Cash App.
You-
W Daniel W666 W Satan Hail Satan.
In order to show up to a fight, you have to really like read the Bible. Yes, he did do it. You're asking me if he would ask me to. He wouldn't ask me today.
How do you
You're
know?
Pulling out script because
How
you're
do
pulling
you
out
know?
scripture Because that is done with. The veil has torn. That is why Jesus came in the New Testament.
Yeah, wait. So could
that I
you
don't
send me
have
the
to do
verse? Could you
crazy
just like
things.
could you give me the verse where it says, "I will never ask you to kill kids ever again"?
That's not. There is no verse in there.
Gotcha. So then, how do you know he won't ask you to do it
I
again?
said that when Jesus was hanging on the cross and he was pleading with God, he said, "Father, Father, it is done." The veil has torn. That veil that Jesus is talking about is the veil between us and sin. That is what he's talking about. So today, you're asking me today if God was to ask me to murder, but he wouldn't ask me.
But,
sent
wait,
his
wait,
son-
but, so wait, why
he
does
sent his
that?
one and
So
only son to die
what was
on the
the
cross for me.
verse that
He
you
stands
cited?
before
What
me
was
so
that?
I can be blameless. So he wouldn't be asking me to do no crazy, outrageous thing that you're asking right now.
But wait. So what's the verse that you cited that means that you know that God could never command these things in the future?
You can find them in the Gospels.
I need you, but I want you to give them to me. What are the verses that say
I
that
don't
God
wanna
would
give you
never
a verse,
command these things ever
You need to
again?
read the whole. You need to read all of the
I've
Gospels.
already read all of the
You're showing
Gospels.
up to these arguments and you make no sense. Your claims
I've
are
already
bogus.
read.
You're
Wait,
not
wait. So
making
can I ask you a
point.
quick question about the Gospels to see how much sense they make?
Sure.
Was Jesus crucified on the day of preparation for Passover, like John says, or during Passover, like Mark, Matthew, and Luke say? Which one was it?
I don't know. I don't get caught up in those little details.
That's not a little detail because
That is a little
according to
detail.
John, the Last Supper didn't happen.
Those are
That's
little
not a
details.
small detail.
That is a small detail. It's
Whether the entire Last Supper happened is a small detail.
Where did John say that the Last Supper did not happen?
But he said that Jesus was executed on the preparation day for Passover,
Okay,
i.e., before the
Ian,
Last
where
Supper,
in
and then
the
there's no
Bible, though?
mention. There's
Give me a verse, give
weirdly
me a
no
book.
mention of the Last Supper.
Give me a verse. Give me a book that says
Yeah.
that John
Happily, gladly.
that the Last Supper didn't happen.
John 19:31.
John 19:31. Okay.
Yep. Since it was the day of preparation, the Jews did not want the bodies left on the cross during the Sabbath, especially because that Sabbath was a day of great solemnity. So they asked Pilate to have the legs of the crucified men broken and the bodies removed.
Okay. And where in that scripture does it say that the Last Supper didn't happen?
The Last Supper is Passover. This is the preparation day.
Okay, but you still have not pulled up that scripture you just read does not say anything.
It says that it's the preparation day, i.e., it's not Passover yet. It's the
Okay, and
preparation
what are
day
you
for
okay.
Passover.
And what scripture are you referring to where it didn't happen?
Would you want the scripture where the Last Supper didn't happen?
Yeah, because that's
Like the entire book?
That's
Like
the
if
claim
you
that you're making.
if you go through the entire book, there's no Last Supper?
If I go through the entire book, there's no Last Supper. That's not true, Ian, and you know it.
Yeah, let's see it. Where is it?
I will pull it up for you right now. Okay, you can turn your book to Matthew. Let's see. We're gonna go to Matthew.
Yeah, which one are we looking at?
You're gonna go to Matthew 26, and we're gonna read 17 through 30.
Matthew 26. So not John.
What does it matter? These are the Gospels.
Yeah, because so John, according to John, the gospel according to John is that it didn't happen.
Okay, that was your claim. So it's up to you to show me what scripture.
The scripture that proves that it didn't happen is the fact that it's not in John. Wait, so the scripture that proves that the Last Supper didn't happen is the one that I cited you that said that the preparation day for Passover is the day that Jesus was executed.
It says absolutely nothing in that scripture.
If you were executed on the preparation day for Passover, that means that you don't make it to Passover. If you don't make it to Passover, that means that you don't have Passover dinner. If you don't have Passover dinner, that means that there was no Last Supper.
Okay, who said that he didn't have all these things? He had all those things. The betrayal happened at the Passover. I'm so confused right now.
Then you would disagree with John 19:31, where it says that he was executed on the preparation day.
No, I wouldn't disagree.
Did it happen on Passover or on the preparation day for Passover?
No one knows preparation dates or the Passover dates.
But you know that preparation comes before.
Okay, what are you saying, Ian?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what the actual day was. We can just call the preparation day X, and we can just call Passover like X plus 1, or like the week of like X plus 1 through like X plus 8, whatever.
Exactly.
So if you're executed on X, that means you don't make it to X plus 1.
He wasn't executed on X.
Yes, he was. It says that since it was the day of preparation, the Jews did not want the bodies left on the cross during the Sabbath. He was executed on the preparation day, since it was the day of preparation.
Okay.
So we're on day X. Jesus is executed on day X. If you're executed on day X, you don't make it to X plus 1.
I don't understand. But the Last Supper happened. That scripture that you pulled up does not say that the Passover didn't happen, and those were your words verbatim.
Yeah, it says that Jesus was executed on the preparation day for Passover. The preparation day is before Passover. I'm just not sure what about this you're not getting. In fact, I think you probably do get it, but you're cornered and trapped, and you're not really sure what to do.
I'm not cornered, and I'm not trapped at all.
You are trapped, and you're lying. That's why there was a tone shift in your voice just now. Everyone sees through it. It's okay. It's not. It's genuinely from me to you. It's not too late to run. It's okay, and you can pretend to be dumb. Every single person understands what's going on here. You can't remedy the contradiction, and you're acting like you don't get it. It's pretty obvious. If you're executed on the preparation day for a day, then you don't actually make it to the day. Sometimes we take L's. It's not too late to run.
This is not an L.
There's like an X button. There's an X button in the corner. In your screen, there's an X button. You can just tap it and you can leave. You don't need to embarrass yourself like this. There's no need for the humiliation to continue.
Why would I? How can I embarrass myself?
Because you're failing to track like basic logic. Do you think looking stupid makes you look good?
Basic logic where, Ian?
Okay.
You're saying that the Passover didn't happen. It completely happened. I gave you a scripture to back up my claim. The scripture that you pointed out backs up nothing.
Okay. Do you agree that a preparation day happens before the day you're preparing for?
Yes.
Do you agree that if you are unalived on a preparation day, then you don't actually make it to the day that you're preparing for?
But John never said that he didn't.
That's a yes or no question. Wait, that's a yes or no question. Do you agree that if you are executed on the preparation day, then you never actually make it to the day you're preparing for? Do you agree?
No.
No? So can you give me an example of somebody being executed and then they're still alive?
You said that you still didn't even point.
Can you get wait? Can you give me an example of a person who was executed and still alive?
But nowhere in the Bible does it say that.
Can you give me an example of a person who was executed and because you rejected the premise? Can you give me the example of the person who was executed and was still alive?
No, I don't know anybody.
Gotcha. So then you would accept that if you are executed on the preparation day, then that means that you don't actually make it past the preparation day.
Okay, but your initial question was, did the Passover happen?
Wait.
And my
Because
answer to that was that the Passover happened.
okay, wait. This is just gonna get worse for you. But let's make this like super easy.
Sure, go ahead.
Yep.
Did you?
We're gonna draw a picture.
You don't have to draw a picture.
We're gonna draw a picture. Okay, so we got the preparation day and we got Passover. According to John, Jesus is executed on the preparation day. If Jesus is executed on the preparation day, is he gonna make it to the next day?
No, he wouldn't make it to the next day.
Gotcha. So if Jesus doesn't make it to the next day, does Jesus make it to Passover?
Yes, he made it to Passover. He made it to Passover, Ian.
But you agreed that he didn't make it past this arrow.
And
so if you're executed on Passover day, do you agree that you never crossed this arrow?
I never said Jesus was executed on Passover on preparation day. You're saying
then you disagree with John 19:31.
No, I don't disagree with John. I also don't disagree with Matthew, because the way that the Gospels were written. That's what I'm saying. They're all from different.
Why would you do this to yourself?
Why would I do what?
Do you think that this is a good look for you?
Do you think that it's a good look for you?
Absolutely. You're getting pile driven right now. You're getting torn in half. Yeah. I look phenomenal right now.
You don't.
I think I'll let I'll let all the people over on TT Live Posters YouTube decide that one. Shout out TT Live Poster on YouTube. Thanks for posting all my lives. Appreciate that. So I just want to. So do you agree or disagree that Jesus was executed on the preparation day of Passover? Whoa, Ned Flanders, thank you so much for the $100 on Cash App for bros playing dumb like she doesn't get it. W Ned Flanders with a V instead of a U, or a V instead of an E, a V instead of an A, like Ned Flanders, but there's a V instead of the A. Huge W Ned Flanders. I appreciate the hell out of that. That's amazing, incredible. I love you. Thank you so much. So. What do you think the preparation day is referring to in John 19:31?
It doesn't matter what I think it's referring to.
What is it referring to?
The Passover happened. You're saying that it didn't.
What's the preparation day referring? Preparation for what?
What preparation for what, Ian?
Passover.
Right.
You agree?
No, I don't agree.
So then so when it's talking about the day of preparation in John 19:31, what's it talking about?
It's talking about the betrayal.
Where in it does it talk about betrayal?
It's talking about the days leading up to him being crucified.
Do you want to read the rest of 19? I don't think you want to read the rest of 19.
Give me the whatchamacallit. You still haven't even went to Matthew.
Well, yeah, because we're talking about John. I'm not gonna let you pivot away from this. Yeah. So let's go to the start of. So wait. So here's your new thesis that you're literally just like digging a deeper hole. It's just like unironically, it just gets worse for you. You desperately need to learn the words. I don't know. You need these words like a fish needs water because you have no idea and you're just making it worse for yourself. So let's read the start of 19. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged, and the soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they dressed him in a purple robe. Blah 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 blah. Then to 6, when the chief priests and police saw him, they shouted, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves and crucify him. I find no case against him." Blah 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 blah. Jesus, you have the conversation. Then we get down to the crucifixion of Jesus at 17. And carrying the cross by himself, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called, they crucified him. So at 18, There they crucified him with him, two others, one on his side with Jesus beneath them. And then this one, of course, is on 31. So he's crucified at 19:18. And then the verse we're talking about is 19:31. So he's crucified on the preparation day. Preparation for what?
For Passover.
Passover.
The supper was before that. The supper was before.
It certainly wasn't Passover supper if it was.
The supper was before preparation.
So Passover supper happened before preparation?
Yeah, it did. It did. And he had multiple suppers.
Preparation happened after? You're saying that they prepared for it after?
What I'm saying is that
what are they preparing for? The past?
They had preparation before the Passover.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you ever go on like a hike, and then after you're done raw dogging the hike, you pack your hiking gear together in preparation for the hike that you already went on? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Your worldview is nonsense.
No, your worldview is nonsense.
No, you.
Your nonsense.
You have done nothing but embarrass your religion. I hope that everyone who's paying attention saw that.
I'm not embarrassing my religion.
Absolutely. I bet even Jesus had to scroll away from this one.
He didn't. He's right here. He's right here.
I bet the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are passing this one around the group chat like,
They really
fuck.
They really are. They really are passing it around the group chat.
Well, yeah.
And
Anything else?
I'm not the one being laughed at. It's you, not me.
Nah, it's okay. If they were real, they'd be too smart for that.
Said,
but you got anything else for me, or should I move on to the next guest?
Ian, you said that it never happened. It happened. You brought
but it's still on 2 different days.
Support your claim. It doesn't matter if it was on 2 different days. Okay.
It doesn't matter if the execution was on 2 different days?
But it happened.
It doesn't matter if the execution was on 2 different days?
No, it doesn't matter to me. You're nitpicking at the little things that don't matter.
The day that your Messiah was executed. You're the people. You literally have an entire holiday around it. But it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
So the day of the holiday, do you think the day of was it fucking Christmas? You think the day of Christmas is irrelevant?
Do I think? Yeah, I do think the day of Christmas
it would
is
be
irrelevant.
Easter, wouldn't it? No, it would be Easter, yeah. So you think the date of like Easter is irrelevant?
All holidays were man-made.
Gotcha. Wait, so you think like so you don't go to church on Easter? You don't do anything for that?
I go to church every Sunday. That's why these little things that you're saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wait, so it doesn't bother you that there's a direct contradiction in your Bible?
This claim about contradictions between John, Matthew, and Mark, and Luke and John, which they were all written from different perspectives.
Yeah.
That's why I said you're
I probably wouldn't forget like the fucking day though.
You're not really reading the word.
I have read the word. Seems like this is the first time that you've heard about this one though.
No, it's not the first time I had heard about it.
Then why were you like fumbling and fuddling around?
Because you were doing the same thing that you were doing with every other person who joined on here.
Folding you like a chair, scrambling you like an omelet, and reformatting you like a hard drive.
You were jumping around from different ideas.
Cooking you like baking you like a potato, cooking you like a souffle. Like I didn't jump around anything. The only thing I did is crucify you on this point.
You did not.
This was brutal.
You did not.
It's like TikTok live poster. You should put like a content advisory on this one if you're going to post this one. But you got anything else for me? Otherwise,
do you have anything else? You still have not supported any of the claims you've made since we've been on here.
Which claim? Name one claim that I haven't supported. Name one claim that I made that I haven't supported.
Isn't real. That's basically what we're.
So I supported that claim in a number of ways. I supported that claim by pointing to earthquakes, cancer, by pointing out the contradictions of the Gospels.
You said that he was a shitty God. That's all that you said.
That he said if he does earthquakes, then he's a sick fuck. Yeah, that one's just intuitive. That if I was like an engineer and I had like a button in front of me that if I pushed it caused earthquakes, and I pushed that button.
Okay, Ian, does that mean you should
I'm a
push
sick
it, though?
fuck.
Should you push it though?
Absolutely not. Fuck no.
Okay.
In fact, if you do push the earthquake button, you're evil.
You're crazy. You're delusional. Who said that there was an earthquake button?
It's a hypothetical. You're not tracking.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All your claims are hypothetical. You're bashing
No,
God off
the
of
60,000
hypothetical
people a
arguments. You
year
don't
who
make
die
any
of
sense. You
earthquakes
haven't
are
brought any
very real.
facts.
They're not
You have
hypothetical.
not
The contradictions in your
evidence to
Bible are
support
very
any of
real.
your
They're not
claims.
hypothetical. The fact that your God called for the killing of children, which you defended, is very
sure-
real,
and
not
I still
hypothetical.
do. I still do.
You still defend God killing kids, yeah.
Yeah, because you're reading it out of
Innocent
context.
babies, yeah.
You're reading it out of context.
The context doesn't help. The context is that they were born to the wrong parents.
You're reading it out of context. The
crime that they're guilty of.
He was a sick God murdering babies.
The crime that they're guilty of is being born to the wrong
remains.
parents. Do you think being born to the wrong parents means you deserve the death penalty?
No, I don't think so.
Gotcha. So then why would God call for the death penalty for these people born to the wrong parents?
Because he was serving justice.
Gotcha. So then you do think it's just to kill people for the crime of being born to the wrong parents.
I'm God. I'm not God.
Gotcha. Wait, do you want to stop and ask him? God, why would you call for the killing of all of these innocent babies?
I
in
already
1
know
Samuel
why he called
15:3.
for the killing of all these innocent
Wait.
babies.
We're waiting for God's response. Hold on. Why would you call for the killing of all these innocent babies in 1 Samuel 15:3?
Oh, he's right here. He wants me to answer it for you.
Yeah, go for it.
He
Yeah.
sent his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a curse that he put on, like you said, 400 years before.
Yeah, and why would
Many
that ever
generations
be
before.
just?
Sure, that was justice. He was serving justice.
No. So I'm asking you, why is it just? You're saying it's just because it's just. That's circular.
It's
I'm asking, why is it just?
Because
In
they
what
turned
way?
away from him. It's just for numerous reasons. It's just because one of
is
the
it
first
just
commandments, you
to
shouldn't
punish-
have any idols, and these people made idols for themselves. They turned away from God.
Is
That
it
was his
ever
punishment.
just to punish an innocent person?
They weren't innocent.
What
Why
was
do
the
you keep
crime?
saying that they were innocent?
Wait,
They
what was
weren't
what was the
innocent.
crime of what crime did the babies specifically perpetrate?
Oh, they didn't do anything themselves.
So they're innocent. So is it ever just to punish an innocent person? Is that ever just?
Is it?
No.
Was it innocent when Pharaoh did it to all the firstborn Hebrews?
No.
Exactly. So why this scripture, Ian?
So wait, yeah, because Pharaoh so first of all, Exodus didn't happen, but that's neither here nor there. But second of all, because this is your God, he's commanding some evil, fucked up shit.
No, he's
so instead of
commanding
pivoting
He's
back to
commanding
Pharaoh,
justice.
instead of pivoting back to Pharaoh, you need to now give a justification. How is it ever justified to punish an innocent person? How is that justified?
I don't know. You have to pray and ask God about that.
Gotcha. Let's ask God. God, in 1 Samuel 15:3, you punish a bunch of children who are innocent and who have done nothing wrong. How is that just? We got radio silence.
You got radio silence.
Yeah, did you get an answer? Could you
I did.
tell me what the answer is? So how is it just to kill
Why?
people who have done nothing
Why,
wrong?
Ian?
How is the killing of innocents justified? Go ahead.
Why, Ian?
Because
I can't-
you said
I don't-
that you got a response.
I did get a response. You didn't get a
Dean,
response.
thank you so much for the $6.66. Hey, it's me, God. I thought it funny. I thought it was funny. LOL. Sorry, kids. W Ethan in the comment section. W666. W Satan. Hail Satan. If you got a response, then give the response. I'm interested.
I already gave you it.
What was the response? Let's hear it. How's it just to kill an innocent kid?
It doesn't matter how me and you look at it. That was him serving justice. That's what it is.
Well, you
That's
said
what
that we
it
would need
was.
to ask God. So you're just saying it's just because it was just. I'm asking, how is it just? How is that ever just?
No, you asked me what was going on. You brought that scripture up. You had no idea. You wanted to know why such a shitty God would inflict murder and pain on innocent babies, and that's my explanation for that. Was he was serving justice? Was it
Yeah, and I'm
just?
asking
I
you,
don't
how
know.
is
I'm
that
not
just?
God.
In what way is that just?
He was serving justice
In what way?
in his way, in his perfect
So in
divine
God's way, the killing of innocent babies is justice.
That scripture that you're talking about, yeah, it was.
Gotcha. So it's
If he
justice
wanna
to
do
kill
it,
innocent
I'm sure
babies.
he didn't want to do it.
That's justice to kill innocent babies.
Yeah, that was his justice.
That's crazy. You're psychotic.
You're psychotic.
I'm not the one saying that it's just to kill innocent babies.
You don't have to be the one to
Like,
say
no,
that.
wait, so no, you doesn't work here because I'm not saying that it's okay to kill innocent babies. You're doing that.
Nobody said that
Christians.
it was okay.
This is y'all.
You're asking me about God, and don't say Christians. We don't have to do that today. I keep telling you that. You're reading scriptures out of the Old Testament. Jesus Christ came and he came to earth and he did away with all of that. So
And
all
you
these shoulda,
wait.
coulda,
So then,
wouldas,
if he
do you think kind of questions?
did he bring
I don't
the
have to
kids
answer
back
those
to
questions.
life? If he did away with all that, are there now? Does that unkill the kids? I don't think that you can do justice absent the kids coming back to life. So
Nobody said we could. You're
gotcha.
You
So
wanna-
then
you
they
wanna
did an
put it on our
injustice, and it's
scripture.
still an injustice.
That was his justice that he took upon them.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on up here. I'm gonna end stream for the day. I gotta get ready for the gym. I'm gonna send you all over to Parker though. Parker's live at Parker Get a Job. If you want to join the community, there's a link to the Discord in my bio. It's discord.gg/allegedlyian. It's an 18 plus space. So only join if you're 18 or older. But make sure you're dropping a follow so you never, ever, ever miss a debate in the future. I'm going to be live tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. It's going to be a good time. But for the Discord specifically, we talk about politics, religion, and philosophy. We're doing like a book club reading group for a philosophy paper this Saturday at 7 EST. It's titled Logical Problems of Evil and Free Will Defenses by Graham Oppie. Who's my favorite philosopher of all time, by the way. I love Graham Oppie. He's like a crazy, incredible philosopher. So if you are interested in that and you're 18 or older, stop on by, read the paper, and I'd love to see you on Saturday. Link in bio. I also tag everyone every time I go live, so you'll never miss a live because you'll always be notified. Other than that, again, we're going over to Parker, who is live at Parker Get a Job. Love all of you, and I'll see you all over there. All right, bye-bye.